All right, that's close enough to 5. Where's it 5? Yeah, 5. I usually do it at 4, so I'm all confused about the times. First, before we say anything, I'm looking at the comments right now. People are typing, Captain Dan the Fireman. Yes, I was surprised at how intensely they edited my intro for Dr. Phil. Now, I believe everything I said. Usually, I try to be a little more polite, especially in person when I'm actually talking directly to the person that I am discussing. I like to be a little more friendly. So going on stage was super awkward because I was like, oh, great. That sounded really intense, and I'm not prepared to be that intense on a stage right now. For those of you wondering, I was on Dr. Phil, which is why I have that. And is my audio working? Because last time I did that, there was no audio. I don't know. Yeah, I think there's audio. We're fine. So, but then I got really harsh on Dewitte because he started making me angry by lying about me and my appearance on Dr. Phil. So now we're at this point where if I did meet him, I would be very comfortable being that intense. It was a thing. Hi, everyone. So, some things right away. So, Jeremy Dewitte, right? He uploaded the video on his own channel about, a domestic violence call. And I want to start this by saying that my mother has started watching my channel, which is super awkward. Hi, Mom. It's kind of weird because I'm presenting a side of me she doesn't usually see. Like, I'm a nice, well-behaved boy. Especially when I'm breaking things, which is, it's not because I'm actually angry. That's not how I respond angrily to things. It's more for everyone's amusement. It is not something you should emulate through anger yourself. But she watches this, and she's like, I decided to check out this Dewitte character, and I saw he posted. She doesn't sound like this, by the way, but, to distinguish between me and her. I saw that he posted a video about domestic violence incident. You do have to talk about that? I'm like, Mom, I'm going to talk about it. She's like, well, just be really careful about the names of the whatever. And I appreciate her. I really do. That's phenomenal advice. Love you, Mom. Thank you. Yes, we're not going to get into the family. I like to try to leave the family out as much as possible unless it's directly related to what's going on. So I probably won't even reference like the names of the family members involved. We all know who it is. I don't need to. Other things I want to talk about. Got my second COVID shot, so I was out of commission for a couple days. It was rough, but I'm excited to have it. COVID is real. If you think otherwise, I think less of you. So, that is not a joke. I fully am in support of what I've just said. Got my second shot. Hooray. Great. Sort of set me back on my timeline. So this has been kind of like, is this going to happen? Is this dream not going to happen? And I know I'm talking a lot, but there's some things I want to get into. That's a thing for later. It's been a very busy couple of weeks. I want to apologize for not being here and doing things with you guys. For that one person who just joined my Patreon, I appreciate you. I'm going to try to put stuff up because you're there. I've not put up anything on my Patreon for a while, just so you're aware. I think it was Moderna. I'm fairly sure it was Moderna. It was I will hit the red button for the hell of it. But my moderator, I don't know if she's okay with me saying it. I'm going to say it. No, I'm not. Anyway, she's also feeling a little not fully there. So we're going to try to be nice to her, right, folks? And to be nice, I will start by doing her job for her, which isn't really her job because I'm not paying her. Although I've told her she can skim funds off the top. So it's like their money. I don't know. And I don't know how our dynamic really works. She usually puts out, I have a merch shop. And I do have a merch shop. It's in the description of this video. If you want sweet, sweet merch, that's great. There's also a PayPal. I don't ever remember what the PayPal is because I'm not the one who runs it. Because, you don't want to give one man too much power. So that's... Okay, so Rennie doesn't want me to... I didn't want to, say your thing for you. So Rennie has gotten her first shot. My moderators. Good for her. Yay. So she's not going to be... She might not be fully there. I'm not going to speak for her. But... That's a thing. Yeah, I tell you can take my money. She could take my money if she wanted to. She does a lot of work, a surprising amount of work. Before we get into this video, I do have an exciting announcement. I'm going to start. Oh, see, there's the. She's putting it in the chat. That's great. Thank you. I do have an exciting announcement. Having gone through Jeremy's, just how I've been going through a lot of Jeremy's stuff when it comes to funeral escorts. I've been looking at how to do it here in Washington State, so I'm very proud to announce that I will be starting my own funeral escort company in this state. Fortunately for me, I actually can hold the security licenses for it. I actually have a motorcycle. Our first motorcycle is here. It's a little small, but I think it's because I got it on a police auction. It doesn't really, it needs some fixing up. I'll do the repairs on it later. I have my first contractor right here. You know, he likes the bike. He doesn't want to come off. That's fine. And it's interesting. He has a little sign that says "stop" on it. That's so that he's not actually directing traffic. People can decide whether or not they want to follow it. He has a less lethal. It looks exactly like a gun. You can't see it. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can't see it very well. It looks exactly like a gun, but it is less lethal, I assure you. Not that you can tell when it's in the holster. A baton for, I don't know, self-defense probably. And then we have these, which he'll carry on him. These are little handcuffs, but he won't tell anyone. He'll pretend he doesn't. I've made that executive decision on that one. Now, it does say police on it, but fortunately no law enforcement vehicles in Washington State use this symbol. You usually only find that in Ohio and maybe parts of California. So we're not going to remove that. And if anyone thinks that's close, they're wrong. Yeah, obviously the lights are fine. Yeah, there's a badge on it, but you know, that's not a real badge, so it doesn't count. I do have a lighting system for it. Let me show you I don't know how to attach it yet, but let me show you. So I have the lights for it. I don't think they're excessive. They definitely should tell people that this is in fact a funeral escort. I don't know where the bikes went. I've lost it. It's probably crushed under this. But yeah, these are my. You know, obviously, the screen is funeral, right? I would plug it in, but I'm pretty sure it would kill the stream. I think all the fuses in my house would blow. So, we're gonna put that back down. Well, I was gonna break that cup later, but it's now broken. Very heavy. How big is still that part of a cup? Oh. Anyway, I wanted to put it in the beginning so that Jeremy would see it. Because he's watching my other stuff. Yeah, well, that's broken. We're just going to leave that there. Because I can't. It's my stream. I get to do what I want. Yeah, look, I don't have a 12-bedroom house, so my circuits are really small, despite the fact that Jeremy actually has a 4-bedroom house, and thinks that we can't catch him on that, which is stupid, because of course we can. Thank you, Rennie, for sending me this, by the way. That's going to have a special place of honor up here. I'll figure it out. I'll find a spot. It's funny, because I actually had a German version of this. When I was in Germany, I had someone give me a, oh, there he goes, German Polizei one. And it's basically identical. It's very fun to, son of a gun. Just the color scheme was different. It was green. Well, it's gone now. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You know what? Why not? All right, some people have donated. What did I miss? What did I miss? All right. Thank you guys so much for the donations. Ben Burnett. Oh, man, no, thank you for appreciating the fact-checking. I have a small team of people in my Discord that have been helping me with that, and it's phenomenal. I could not do what I do without them. Thank you, everyone who helps me with that. And it's not limited to my Discord. There are plenty of people in my YouTube comments and my emails, etc. I know there are emails I have to respond to. I'm so sorry. Flea Willie, I got to get back to you. I know. I'm sorry. It's weird noises. Anyway. Yes, I do a lot of digging. I have a lot of fun doing it. It can get a little overwhelming, but anyway, yes, thank you for appreciating it. What else we got? Justin Humphreys, JD's next investment. I'd love to see those lights on his vehicles. Pebmets, thank you so much, as always. I don't know why Jeremy put that out either. There's, like, someone put out a video of him following an ambulance, so he felt compelled to put out the video of explaining why. Why would he feel why? You just take it, man. It's cool. Calm down. It's fine. No one needs to know why you're following an ambulance. Just put out a statement and be like, hey, my wife had to go to the hospital. I was following her there. That's all you got to do. I'm telling you from the beginning, just lay low for a bit. People forget. Hank, you missed the safety briefing. Where's my iPro? I didn't even mean to smash it, so I didn't put it. It makes a nice noise, though. That's delightful. Yeah, so there's... maybe... What is happening out there? It's like a party going on the block. Yeah, so there's... I'm going to throw that knife. I did. I got Sharpies to put the negative 37 on. Do I have another cup? I do have another cup. All right. This, we don't need it anymore. That goes there. And I feel good about that one. All right. We have a fresh cup. Yeah. That's my last one. It's fine. It's fine. So let's get into the video, shall we? So this video, first of all, some of you are going to be disappointed. Some of you are going to be disappointed. I'm not going to tell you that Jeremy has committed domestic violence. I am not. What is... Who's blowing me up on the... Problem is my friends have discovered me, and they like to send me messages. But, like, also I sometimes get important... Look, if it's important and you have my number, text me. All right, that should take care of that. I'm not going to tell you that he's committed domestic violence. Although it's entirely possible... I don't feel confident having reviewed the facts in making that determination as if I would if I were investigating this in real life, right? I treat this like real life. And there's a lot of, like, back and forth. When he said this, did he really mean this? And this could have been a thing. Look, we can speculate all day. But at the end of the day, to quote Jeremy, these speculations will not hold up in court. And they are at best circumstantial. Circumstantial. So, we'll get into that. We will explain that in a bit. There are more donations for my hernia repair. Long Hill and the orange screwdriver. Thank you. Yeah, that thing is heavy. That's a chalky boy. I bought that. You know what? I know I've been rambling for 12 minutes. I feel like the bit was pretty good for that delay. But the video I did on Day in the Life of Blue Bacon, the bit with the looking at the sun, I have a giant spotlight about yay big that I put outside my garage door and just blasted in through the window. So that's actually what's happening. I've been a hazer that created that sort of smoky effect so you can see the beam of light. Excuse me. And I just blasted a spotlight. And I'm sure people on the sidewalk were very confused about what was happening. It's great. What is this? Cameo Stark. Hey, thank you. I grew up with a heavy anti-police dad. It's really interesting to learn from you. It's really great perspective, helping me see a new side of reality. I really appreciate that. I found that a lot of people who are very anti-police are lacking information from a certain side of law enforcement. Right? A lot of people that I've interacted with who are very anti-police do not talk to police. They do not talk to people who support the police. They only get information from one side. And there are issues. There are issues, certainly. But if you only look at one side of an issue, either pro-police or anti-police, you're going to see only half the story. Actually, I saw a lifted truck today. This big old truck, and it had a "Don't Tread on Me" sticker, and then it had 2 thin blue line stickers. I'm like, I already hate this guy. He is too pro-police, right? It's not, the thin blue line, fine, but this is a guy who I know I would disagree with because police is the government. "Don't Tread on Me" is generally anti-government. Well, that's not always true. It's a complicated thing, but I'm looking at this guy I don't like him because I'm basing my thoughts on, first of all, I think he's too pro-police, which I don't like people who are super pro-police. Well, it's not that I don't like you, is I will correct you and say, well, actually, we need to bring it down a bit. Well, now you've got me on a tangent. But then the second part of this is I made a judgment about him not knowing him. And I think a lot of people do that with police officers, is they look at them and go, you're part of a problem. And maybe not, you know? And so it's a story in two parts there. There's a lot of information that a lot of people don't have. A classic one is people are like, well, police are always doing the wrong thing. Well, how many times do you see the police doing the wrong thing? I don't know, like 100 times a year. Cool, there are 10.6 million interactions between police and people over the age of 16 each year. So 100 out of 10.6 million is not much. Obviously, we want that number to be zero. But when you look at the scale, you know, there are 700,000 police officers, generally, give or take 100,000 at any given time in the United States. So how many bad apples are there? 10 that we hear about? I mean, I'm just giving out numbers. Like, a lot of people fail to take into the scale. And then a lot of people are like, oh, police are bad people. Well, have you interacted with them, right? And a lot of people have these biases that they take with them that they won't allow to be changed. This is something that means a lot to me, which is why I'm ranting about this forever. I'm so sorry for going on forever, everyone. But I really appreciate you coming out here and saying, like, I'm from a background that was very anti-police, but I appreciate your side of things, because that's really kind of my goal. Is you have channels like Donut Operator, which is a really fun channel, but super pro-police, and it's definitely targeted to appeal to a certain type of people. But the type of people it's supposed to appeal to are already pro-police. I kind of wanted mine to be more of a middle ground, where people who are sort of on the fence, like, do I like the police or not, could come here and be like, oh, well, that's very interesting. I want to learn more. But that's the whole thing. Anyway, oh, Chicago cop was shot today. Yeah. Hey, Bigum, thank you. RFD says, imagine if an equally small majority of airline pilots were bad apples. Airline pilots make mistakes. The difference between an airline pilot and a police officer is a police officer doesn't have an incredibly fancy computer to fix all of their mistakes for them. There is an enormous difference between those two jobs, and it's not a fair comparison. They're completely different. Now, I like the comparison of doctors. Right? Doctors, you go to school for 8 years. You got pre-med, you got post-med? Or just med? I don't know. I don't know the amount of doctors in the United States. I do know that there was a study I read, and I think it was taken within the last 10 years, that between 250 and 440,000 people die in the United States due to doctor or nurse negligence, preventable negligence, or intentional homicide, right? Maybe a nurse is like, I'm sick of this old dude. You know, let's overdose him. This is a real thing. 250 to 440,000. Compare that to the 1,000 people killed by police each year, of which the majority appear to be legally justified. I won't say morally justified, because that's subjective, but legally justified, yes. So, do we talk about the doctor wall of silence? I mean, they swore the Hippocratic Oath, so they also swore an oath. Does that not count? And I love doctors. I think they're great, and they're obviously necessary. But if we're going to make comparisons, why don't we make comparisons to people who hold people's lives in their hands, right? And you say, well, you know, they're dealing with already sick people. Well, police might be dealing with mentally ill people. They might be dealing with people who are out to kill police. They might be dealing with all these things. It's an incredibly complicated job. Okay, well, then why don't we train them more? Because the training is mostly about law and procedures. It is the interaction with people that is really difficult to train. And I'm all for more training, but I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is accountability. Because if you don't hold people accountable for their mistakes, they will continue to make those mistakes, or those intentional errors, or those, error might not be strong enough of a word, those intentional violations of the law that they know they can get away with. Once you fail to hold someone accountable, the quality of law enforcement will degrade. So I think accountability is an excellent, excellent step. I think that's phenomenal. And that's what we really need to look into, as opposed to, you know, taking away all the money from police. And I know the defund the police movement was not meant to say, get rid of all the money for the police. It was supposed to be restructure the police. But a lot of people have taken that and said, no, take away all their money. That's not going to work. That's not going to be effective. You need to understand the consequences of the improvements you're trying to make, because many improvements come with some pretty severe consequences. This is not something we can just jump into. But now we're getting into a topic I could go on forever about. This is something I talk about a lot with people that are close to me. I'm so sorry for rambling. Long handle. Yes. Plot twist. Jeremy finds out sentencing is Vittler's love child. Jeremy Dimwit. I checked the comments on his newest channel. A few have came from channels that created that day. Look at a commenter with the name Karen. Oh, there's that. I mean, go for it, guys. There is a... God, you're distracting me. It's great. I love it. Someone claiming to have been Jeremy's IT guy commented on my channel. We'll have to go over that, I think, in the next stream. I'm going to hope to do relatively soon. I don't know when. Hopefully early to middle next week. We hope. I was hoping to do it tomorrow, but turns out I have to take another day of work tomorrow. But that's okay, because I get paid. And I like my job. So, yes, we'll go over that. It was amazing, by the way. He got slapped down. Cameo star growing up on an Indian reservation. Oh, yeah. No, that's fair. Really changes how you see the government. You're an inspiration to some of my writing for my college work. Hey, you need help with your college work? Email me, sergeantbluebacon@gmail.com. It's on my About Me on my YouTube thing if you're confused about spelling it. SGTBLUEBACON @gmail.com. If you need help with college stuff. Yes, Indian reservation stuff I stay away from. Like, they're like, oh, auditors on the Indian reservation. I'm like, I don't know how law enforcement works on the Indian reservation. I do have a couple friends who are law enforcement on the Indian reservation, but it just doesn't come up enough for me to feel confident about it. Because most of what I talk about, I pull from my own experiences and then take that and do a lot of research on to apply to a broader sense of the United States. But Indian reservations are well outside of my knowledge regarding like the weird intricacies of how that law works. So it's a thing. I haven't even seen the It video for those for Linda talking about that. Now she's seen my last comment. I got a lot of hidden crimes by. Oh, all right. I'm gonna drop my email in the thing, and then hopefully I actually get around to checking it because it's been a real busy couple of weeks. So. I accidentally dropped a cup, so I did kind of destroy something. But anyway, all right. So we're gonna get into this video, and again, there's gonna be a lot of pauses. If that upsets you, watch the original. Don't watch this one. So I'm gonna mute it because I don't have my headphones. I don't know where they are, but I'm gonna put captions on so that I can hear it. Hey, thank you, Herman. Can you guys hear it? Hold on. Let me check on the audio for you. Matt, hey, what's up? Stand by one. You know what? We're going to let it play. Mute that while it plays. Hey, Matt, Elio in Texas, dealing with auditors. Plenty, so much respect for that. Hey, we're going to be doing auditor videos hopefully soon. We're going to get way back into that. So it's going to be great. All right. So video. Any APR updates? Alec Ringdahl. No updates from him. I still kind of feel bad because I liked Alec. I mean, I disagree with a lot of his history, but I really appreciate his willingness to try to correct his mistakes. As far as what was the other thing you said? I'm sorry. Side effects from COVID. Arm was a little sore. I had a fever, dizziness, headache for about 18 hours maybe. I slept about 28 hours in a 36-hour period, which probably helped me deal with all of it. Fever broke, I think, at 8 p.m. the day after. Yeah, it wasn't awful. It wasn't great. I would definitely give yourself a day off afterwards. Yeah, he's not supposed to have white. He's not supposed to have white. I checked that today. I should start a 6-bedroom. I like my house. You know, I'm good with the one I got. Maybe we'll do a fun to get Jeremy a house. Well, he's going to potentially a building with a lot of rooms. A prison. Anyway. All right, so again, I don't have audio, but we have his wife out there, March 15th, 2021. Osceola Sheriff responds to domestic violence in progress call. I'm not sure that's true. Now, they probably had an idea like, oh, there might be a domestic incident. We have, over there in the corner to the right, we have the wife who appears to be on the phone. And I guess a neighbor called in to be like, hey, there's someone like yelling into a phone, bleeding from the head. There's a guy on the porch yelling at her. I think it might be domestic. But she's also calling 911 saying, like, I hit my head. Presumably, I think we're in the process of requesting those phone calls just to check to see what she did say. So police are probably from dispatch going to get something along the lines of, this unit, be en route to this location. We have a head wound, non-life threatening, possible domestic, be advised, etc. No firearms in the home, something. That would be a pretty standard call for this type of thing, pretty standard transmission from dispatch. That does not mean that's what they did. They might have given more information. They might have given less. I would reasonably expect it to be, this is a medical call. Be advised it may be a domestic. It is unclear. Neighbor is suggesting it may be, right? So the police are probably going to be arriving knowing that they need to provide first aid, but also a little bit suspicious, which is completely fair because she's out there, yelling, bleeding. Someone's on the porch yelling. That looks and sounds like a domestic in progress or slightly after, either way. So, oh goodness. What do you like donations? I appreciate you guys. You guys are phenomenal. Hey, Herman, North Seattle, what's up? You North Seattle? We should hang out sometime. Really 50-50s, my intersection with this stolen valor. You really 50-50s it. I love that. I got to remember that. I will find me some good teriyaki. Thank you. Cameo Stark, missing and murdered Indigenous women's movement. I know how it is for police and tribes to work together because of different laws. I will, yes. Rennie, if you're still here, if you don't mind writing that down. Because my understanding is it is fairly challenging. Jonathan, with a possible domestic, they stage medics and have police clear scene first. Yes, yes, that's exactly right. Look at you. You beat me to it, you jerk. No, it's great. Thank you. APR is still working security at days in, but not in uniform. Oh, that's good. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's probably safer. Yeah, so for domestic, you're going to have at least 2 officers show up. We were told, do not respond unless you have 2. Not that everyone listened to that. There were some very dumb officers we had. There was one of the female persuasion who was just, oh my God, she was so dumb. Not because she was female, it's just, she was like, I'm a strong and independent woman, and I don't need no man. And I was amazed that she didn't get herself punched in the face for being as bold as she was, all by herself, amongst group of angry drunk soldiers. Again, nothing to do with female. It was just who she was as a person. It was terrible. Anyway, we're gonna get back into this call, and I'm gonna give you a heads. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Let me back this up. So when I was in military police investigations, which is one of the things I wore this badge for, Jeremy. He hates that I have this. I dealt with domestics more than any other crime. Now, I wouldn't say that the majority of my calls were domestics, but if you had a list of all the crimes I'd ever responded to, domestics would be up there. I am actually a subject matter expert in domestic violence intervention. I took there was additional training I received. I am very experienced in it. This was my bread and butter. This is what I did, was investigate domestics. I'll show you how I used to do that. It's great. We'll get to that though. Gabe. Hi, North Tacoma. Hey, I know North Tacoma. I used to live off 135 briefly. When I was in the Army, I moved in somewhere. Anyway. All right, so just so you have a heads up about my knowledge of this situation. And again, I can't hear the audio. You know what? Maybe I'll give myself a little audio. I'm sorry if you hear it through the microphone. So we hear her being loud-ish. She's on the phone. Thank you. Thanks, Greg. A few shillings, yes. Flea Willy, yes. It is cold. It is cold. I actually have a space heater right there. So nothing's happening. We're on the ring camera. We're moving on. There's still a little bit of noise. I don't see the neighbor, but that's fine. There's no video. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Thank you. No, the video is off. You didn't miss anything. It's just this screen. Police arrive. So we have them wearing the old star there. They arrive. Gloves are already on. That's a... Well, actually, no, because it's a medical call. That's an indicator that they know that there's an injury. So it's not just domestic. Gloves are on. Gloves on either mean there's an injury with blood or someone's about to be arrested. So we're going to assume that's because injury with blood. So we have one officer. All right. I'll show you the video. I keep forgetting to turn that. We have the dogs. Okay, it takes place a little bit.
Hello?
Jeremy answers the door.
Guys, no! Come on! What's going on?
Right,
What's going on?
Officer, there's the dog.
Hey! Get back outside, my wife!
And there's going to be another officer somewhere. Now, interesting thing I want to show you.
Hey! What's going on?
Quick. You see how the officer, well, I'll just go for it. He knocks on the door and then he backs up all that way. That's because during a domestic, when you knock on the door, you either step to the side or you get away from that door. Because there have been a few incidences where someone will just fire through that doorway. In fact, at any time where you knock on the door as a police officer, you step to the side because it might be an ambush, right? And domestic is already a potentially volatile situation. So that's what he's doing right there. Now, he would step to the side, but you see there's a window, so that's not a good place because someone can see him and fire on him there. So he probably steps around sort of the corner. That'd be my guess. That's pretty standard policing. Sean, critical hit. Thank you. Thank you so much. But yeah, door, fatal funnel, door. Yes, someone knows. So that's what's happening there.
Get back outside, my wife!
The police can't just, they have no right to be in your home. Well, first of all, it kind of looks like he's letting the officer, like, hey, come on in, like that. There is no sort of like, don't come in my home. Obviously, they can come in. And this idea that he can't be in there in the first place, even if Jeremy's like, you can't come in, sucks to be you, Jeremy. Yes, they can, because there are certain circumstances where police can't enter your home without a warrant. They're called exigent circumstances, and I will list a few off the top of my head. Medical emergency, which would be this. Crime in progress, potentially this. Evidence of a crime in plain view. Destruction of evidence. There's more. Did I list more than... Did I copy them? I don't know. I might have repeated some. I don't remember off the top of my head what all of them are. It's not a huge list, but it covers a bunch of things. Do I have any nerdy hobbies? Who just said that? Who? Get back here. Who just asked that? Hold on. Oh, is the video volume too high? I'm sorry. I can't see. I can't hear. Do I have any nerdy hobbies? Is D&D a nerdy hobby? Because, yes, Gabe, I do. Yeah, I haven't played D&D in a while, but I'm about to start it back up again, so that's going to be fun. Keep me updated on the video volume if it's too much, because I have no idea. There are no headphones in these ears. So, all right, so yeah, the police officer has every right to be on that home at this point. Let's go back to this. Mic level is so low. I will check that real quickly. Hold on.
Milo, coconut!
And there goes Jeremy. All right, yeah, my mic level should be a little better. Let me know if his needs to be lower. All right. There's the second officer. So I knew there would be more than one. But the fact that that one was so far behind there, unless that's not the same officer. The fact that he's all the way back there makes me think that they're not really taking this very seriously as domestic. So it feels like they're treating this as a medical situation first, but also do a little bit of poking into potential domestic. That's what it feels like at this point from someone who has been there. Not as an abuser, no, as someone who investigated it. D&D or Magic the Gathering, check out Comics The Gathering near JBLM. Oh, I should. I do like the area around JBLM. I used to live there. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. All right, so now you have two officers in the home. And look, duty belts. They kind of look like Jeremy's, don't they? And the door is not shut. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. Oh, EMS has arrived. Excellent. They're hanging out. That was a very quick response on their part, unless that was just editing from the rig cam. But I don't think so. So we see the door swinging the entire time. We'd notice it, unless I'm just stupid. Oh no, okay, there is a cut. I am stupid. I was looking at the door. There is a cut. I do not know how long that period of time is. All right, volume is perfect. I'm hearing good. We're gonna skip EMS. We got 3. That's a good number, I guess. I don't know much about EMS.
You had that rescue Smokey try to get here for you.
They show up, and then they do their thing and I back away. And they just wander right into the home because, of course, Matt. All right, so inside the home now. Doesn't look like a 6-bedroom house, but that's fine. I do want to pay attention because I didn't look, but I thought about it. Carpeting in the home. Now she is laying back around the place where she hit her head. Is there carpet there or not?
Okay.
When we go inside, you can let me know what's going on.
Okay. Here's what gets interesting. So the reason I talk about carpeting is Jeremy's, what he says, like, yeah, she was feeling woozy, so we put her back down where she fell because, there's space there. That does make sense. I will allow that. That makes sense. There is space for her to lie down there. So it makes sense that they'd be like, all right, here's a good spot to lay you out. My other thought was, is it carpeted or not? Because if she was injured in a non-carpeted area, like, it would make sense to put her in a non-carpeted area because it's easier to clean linoleum or whatever if you have like stone tiles or whatever than it is carpet. But I don't know that that's the case because it does appear to be the living room. This looks like an open kitchen, open living room type situation. Now, the officer just said, hey, let's step outside so we can discuss what happened. Yes, that is your standard stuff. And domestic, and many other calls. And domestic, you separate the two people. And this is the point where I get to tell you how I investigate domestic violence, all right? So what you do is I would show up. I'm a second responder. I'm not a first responder when it comes to these things. I am not the first person on scene. The police will arrive, and then they call me while I'm at my desk doing paperwork or whatever, and they go, hey, we got a domestic. I'm like, I was just about to finish this case. Not really, no. But I'd always make them feel bad. That's not true. That's a joke. They're like, all right, yeah, I'm on my way. I'll just throw on my vest, my jacket, strap on a gun. No, I probably was already wearing one. And I'd speed through JBLM like a monster. It was great. It was a lot of fun. And then I'd show up. And this is where it gets great. This is my favorite part. Is I'd show up and be like, yes, Investigator Blue here. What seems to be the issue? I do it super, super stupid. So yes, what can you tell me? Like really, really serious. Just, This is the face, by the way. Just without the beard. Just, And they'd tell me, and I'd listen. It's very important. Go, okay, interesting. Got it. Well, you keep doing your thing. Hey, officer, you keep doing your thing. As if they weren't already going to do it, but it makes me look like I'm in charge. A lot of this is psychological when it comes to investigating domestics. Huge part, a lot of investigations, huge part psychological. Because I'm trying to make them think I'm more important than I am, so that if I do have to put them in the interview room, which is often what happens, they would already sort of be like, oh God, this guy. And then when I get in the interview room, I'd be really nice, but like maybe a little intense depending on the situation. And it would put me in a really good position to actually get the truth out of them. Not a false confession. No. The truth. And so I'd go around and I'd be like, interesting. Oh, I'd go to a, this is my favorite bit. I'd go to a door frame and I just, back here, just, just check for Dutch. Oh, interesting. Nothing to do with anything, by the way. I find a picture. I wouldn't touch it, but this is just for demonstration. Look at the picture. And then look at another picture on a different wall. Got it. Right? And meanwhile, whoever's maybe committed the domestic is like, what is this guy seeing that we're not? And I just... Did you see this? Okay. I would just like... I would ham it up so much. And the people would be like, what is this guy? What does he know? this guy must be so good. I would play it like you see it on TV. People actually, when they see, it's great, when they see police acting like they expect police to behave, like they've seen on TV, or detectives or whatever, they will trust them, or not necessarily trust them more. They will believe more, right? I would play this game to make them believe I was the detectives they've seen on TV, because the detectives they see on TV are very, very good. So it's often referred to as the CSI effect. Someone referenced a different older TV show, the Dragnet effect. It's sort of in the similar veins. People will expect to see what they see on TV. When they see it, they'll be like, yes, that's real police work. And so I would do that. I actually gave a briefing to the MPs being like, you need to understand that the way you behave yourself, the way the psychological vibes you give off are incredibly important when it comes to this stuff, when you're dealing with people. And I actually gave that brief, and the sergeant major of the brigade was there. And he was just like, I mean, that's genius. I what? He was very confused. And then I got in a lot of trouble because I was very like, you gotta check that door. I was getting like, I like to teach in a fun way. I got yelled at because someone saw that I was going crazy on camera, because there was a camera in that room, but they didn't know what I was doing. I had to explain myself, and they're like, Sergeant Major thought it was hilarious. Anyway, but I would go ham, yes, bacon, yes. It's not carpeted where she's sprawled. It's like the other side of the breakfast bar, so it's still part of the kitchen. Okay, yeah, so that would make sense why she would lie there. There's enough space to lie down, and it's not carpeted. I will accept that. That does make sense. Yeah, but that's how I would investigate, by the way. Is I would just I'd look at the MPs just, and they'd be like, yes, I also want to feel like I can't let him know I don't. So they and meanwhile, whoever's like being investigated is just sitting there like, am I caught? Anyway, it was great. It was all good fun, and it was very effective in getting people to be like, yes, I actually did beat them, but they deserved it. Like, oh, I bet they did deserve it. Yeah. No, they did what? Oh, yeah. Like, how can anyone not want to smack someone else across? It's a whole thing. That's a whole different conversation. I thought it'd be fun to tell you guys about that because it is great. But here's where it's about to get interesting. Is they're separating. I just got so distracted. They're sounds like they were confused. They probably were, but like they didn't know in what direction they were being confused. Frank, thank you. Maybe that's why Jeremy's badge and uniform make people think cop, because Hollywood. That's exactly it, right? Well, they don't dress like this in Florida. There are like 300 police agencies in the state of Florida. You think everyone knows what all of those look like? No, they know what they've seen on TV, and Jeremy looks like what they've seen on TV. The only difference is the purple lights, but if you're going 100 miles an hour, you can't tell what that flashing strobing is until it's already past you. I was watching a video of the compilation of Jeremy's like worst things, and let me tell you, we're going to go over that in the stream, and I'm just going to hit the button every time Jeremy commits a crime. It's just going to be constant. Like, that person pulled over for you. That person pulled over for you. They're not required to yield. You're holding too many lanes of traffic. You don't have the authority to get them out of that lane of traffic. They're making a turn. They're not going to your funeral procession. You cannot direct them out of it. It doesn't make sense. There's so much nonsense. Why would his arrest record from his recent arrest not match this address for this location? That's a good question. I haven't looked into that. I really should. So they're separating the two people, which is your standard thing during domestic. You want to get both sides of the story separately, and then you compare sides of the story. And if things don't match, you know something's up, right? Before you do that, generally officers, the partners, will have, and there might not be like actual partners, but like going into this, they're considered the partners in this. They're generally two. Not every department will use this terminology, but it's cool, whatever. They'll have an arrest signal. So sometimes it'll be this, it'll be C. Generally it resembles like a pair of handcuffs. And basically if one of the two people says something that incriminates the other, they'll give that signal, whichever one. It could be any of those. It could be none of those. It could be caw-caw, right? It could be anything. Whatever you agree upon beforehand. You get the signal, the other person's like, oh, incriminating evidence. Got it. Hey, you're under arrest, right? Or if the person incriminates themselves, like, cool, turn around, you're under arrest, that sort of thing. So generally you have them facing away from each other, the two people involved. so they can't see each other. And the officers will continuously make eye contact. Now, that's not always possible in a room like this. That would be difficult because it's a very open space. So the officer is about to take Jeremy outside, leaving the door open. Important for all you new police officers, leave that door open if you separate them inside outside so that you can hear the yelling if your partner needs help, etc., etc. Very important. I've verbally smacked a few trainees about that because they used to call me up. When I was an MPI, I would help with the training for domestic investigation stuff because the MPs receive a little bit additional stuff when they arrive to JBLM. And so every couple months or whenever it would happen, whenever they had the new trainees in, I would come down and I would give them scenarios from my own life that were very tricky and see how they respond. There were no good winners. There were no winners. It's more of a learning thing to make you think. But that was a big thing. Like, oh, you're going to shut the door. Cool. And we were in basically a compound with chicken wire, and it was, you could tell there were rooms, but nothing was actually like walled off. And I would just put a bolt down or jam the door and start shaking their partner. Like, what are you going to do now? You can't get in. It was great. We had a lot of fun, but that's story time. We're not doing that. The washer sleeping douchebag. Yeah, Jeremy was a little upset about my video about the day in the life. Anyway, so yeah, they're separating them, and Jeremy says,
Come with me, sir.
"Come with me, sir."
My wife's on the ground bleeding.
My wife's on the ground bleeding. Yeah, and you have a bunch of multiple police officers there to help her. Okay, it's a head wound. She's gonna be fine. It's just head wounds bleed a lot. I'm not trying to be like, oh, Jeremy. No, I get it. It's his wife. He's upset, right? Again, at this point, nothing tells me that it is domestic violence. As an investigator, it would be in the back of my head, like, we got to check to make sure. But nothing overtly screams domestic violence to me. Nothing so far is enough for me to pursue that investigation fully. I cannot open that investigation. I can poke around a little bit to see if I can find any solid evidence, which is usually going to be in the form of some sort of testimony from one of them. But people do slip. They do hit their head on the counter. We can't assume that every single one of those is a domestic violence incident. Now, questions will be asked, but if everyone's like, no, it was fine, it was an accident, then nothing can really happen. And a lot of people are saying, whoa, but when he was holding the baby, was he indicating that, the baby would be in his care if she didn't behave, and she better, watch herself. And I get where you're coming from, and I appreciate that thought. But that's not enough for an investigation. We can speculate all day, and this is the kind of thing that's very frustrating for me, because if this did turn into domestic, if we found out that he'd been beating her repeatedly, and he isn't, to my knowledge. This would be one of the things that people look back and say, there were clues all along. Why didn't the police do anything? Because the clues aren't enough. We can't do anything with these clues. It's not good enough. Anyway, long-handled orange screwdriver is special forces. He should know the wound was nothing to worry about. That's another thing. He's panicking. He's panicking during a head wound. This isn't like... If he was special forces, I'm glad you brought that up. If he was special forces, you'd think he'd be a little calmer about that. I've dealt with wounds. I've never dealt with one in the combat zone, but I've dealt with injuries. We have training injuries. And guess what? I stayed pretty damn calm the entire time. I just talked to him like, hey man, what's up? How's, you got any cigarettes for me later? How's your wife? She's gonna be upset by the scar. She's gonna like it. Oh, my femoral artery. Yeah. Don't worry about it, dude. Femoral artery. You don't need that. What are you talking about? I've had this. I mean, not femoral artery. I haven't had anything that serious. But I've treated people in the field just for training, but real injuries in training environments. You stay calm. Anyone who's been in the special forces, I would expect. I'm not saying they all do. I would expect them to be able to calmly apply some sort of first aid. He isn't being very calm about it. He should know that these officers are able to provide that first aid. She went outside and called for help. She's probably going to be okay. But he's like, I don't want to leave. My wife, calm down. And the officer says,
Go outside, Jeremy.
Fire department's en route, or they're taking care of her, whatever. Let's go outside, Jeremy. That's an order, ladies and gentlemen. And that officer has every right to issue that order. Because right now, he is detained to a degree. The officer can easily make this a detention if it isn't already. That's an order. At this point, it could very much be a domestic violence sort of line of questioning. And I think we should assume that it is. So in that case, he does not have the option. We're about to hit this button. Don't worry. So, thank you, Shauna. Yes, do hit like my video. Subscribe if you haven't. That'd be great. Oh my God, what's happening out there? Someone with a small peener there. All right, so
What reason?
Because he's asking you to, he's going to talk to you.
I never.
I'm with my wife.
So he's like, "Come on, Jeremy. I never told you my name." Yeah, well, dispatch probably has it as part of the registered sex offender. Like, this is Jeremy Dewitte and his wife, et cetera, et cetera. No guns in the house. Like, they'll put out that information. Dispatch would absolutely have that information based on the address. So, I mean, maybe Jeremy was wearing his uniform with his name on it. I don't know, man. Cam G didn't read the super chat. What's next after Jeremy moves to his bigger house? Well, I'm gonna make videos about how my house got even smaller. I'm living on a rug on the street. Let's see.
I'm with my wife who slipped and fell.
Cool, yeah, and she's gonna get medical attention. There's another officer there. Get out of the way.
You're not gonna fucking take me to jail for some bullshit domestic violence bullshit.
This is my favorite part, by the way. This is the exact response I want.
When I didn't touch my wife.
Excuse me?
I didn't touch my wife.
Did someone say that to you?
Oh, you're not gonna take me away for domestic. Oh, who said domestic? Did someone say domestic? I didn't say domestic violence. Why are you saying domestic violence, dog? Why are you saying domestic? Classic, absolutely classic move, and I appreciate this officer for it. We're gonna keep going.
The fact what you're doing and you're trying to split me, I'm not a fucking moron. I know.
All right, Jeremy, hey, language, dude. You know I review these videos. Can we not at least bleep them out for me?
Who I am and I know where I've been, officer.
I know who I am and I know what I could do. You better figure it out real quick. And where have we heard that before? So right now, Jeremy is committing what we call obstruction of justice. No, I will not say he's committed a domestic, but I will say he meets the elements of obstruction. At this point, that is a crime. That is actually an arrestable offense. Although they'd probably cite him and give him a court appearance, considering the circumstances. I'm not saying it would stick. The prosecutor would probably be like, "We have so much on this dude." No. But the officer could absolutely file those charges. So, yeah. I didn't touch her. Well, that's a good point. One of you, I'm sorry, I missed what the name was. I was reading it. I said, well, you did touch her. You put pressure on her head, according to his own story. We'll get into that video later on a different stream. Got a couple videos coming on. His intent was I didn't touch her in a way that would be domestic. I get that. And Susie... well, I'm glad you're learning. That's what I try to do on this channel. That's the point. So I'm glad. Yeah, Jeremy, I was in direct communication with him, and he decided to stop talking to me and learning from me when I was like, "Hey, bud, we kind of got to discuss the stolen valor thing," and he didn't like that. Yeah, my mom's watching. How dare you? Thanks, Frank. And long handle orange screwdriver, thank you for the donation. You think that he would know the difference between a deputy and an officer. Now, to be fair, I use this pretty interchangeably, and Rennie, my moderator, absolutely hates it. I'll give him that one. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one, because I absolutely do that. Mostly because I just don't care. But, he does care is the thing. Like, this is very important to him, getting all the lingo right. And, so, you'd think. But, yeah, obstruction.
Sir, so, with all due respect,
I asked you to step outside with me.
I understand.
That's obstruction again. He's once again ignoring a lawful order.
Yeah, but my wife's on the floor and my daughter's on the floor over here.
Cool. Well, now you're distracting these officers. One of them is going to tend to her. The other one's going to talk to you. It's crazy how that works. Now, if you were a real police officer, Jeremy, and of course you weren't because you committed police impersonation and then multiple felonies and are, a sex offender status type crime. That would be lewd and lascivious battery in the 3rd degree in 2005. The other impersonating a police officer was 1998 and 2001. And then, of course, you've got, falsifying official documents, all sorts of stuff, right? Obviously, you could never be a police officer. It's too bad. Is it? I don't really know. If you were a police officer, you would know that what you're doing is a crime, and you do have to go outside. Now, they don't end up pushing it, which is fine. Maybe the officer's like, I don't really want to deal with this today. I don't want to. Look, a thing that Jeremy doesn't understand is officer discretion. An officer does not have to pursue the crime in many instances. There are some crimes they do. Felonies, for sure. Obstruction generally can be up to an officer to decide whether or not they want to pursue obstruction. And if it's like, oh, it's the end of my shift, I want to do the paperwork. Okay. They might, God, oh, you called my bluff. I guess I won't go through with it. Jeremy does not understand officer discretion. He uses that as a defense for his own stuff. Like, oh, the officer didn't arrest me this time. Why are they doing it now? Well, they were charging with a different crime then. That's another thing we're going to get into. He's like, look, my video in 2015, they only got me for unlawful use of a horn. And then they got me in 2019 for impersonation. Like, yeah, in 2019, you were directing traffic. I don't believe you were doing that in 2015. You were just using your horn to go through an intersection, and that's what they got you for. So, of course, there is a difference because not only was the uniform different, but what you were doing and the way you were acting was different. It's a whole thing. He doesn't understand this. He does not understand how it works at all, and it bothers me so much because all he has to do is sort of like step back and go, I need someone to help me, and I would happily help him. Someone asked me today or yesterday, they're like, how are you willing to help him? Because he's the kind of person that needs help, right? I became a police officer to help people. I don't get to decide who I help and who I don't for the most part. I mean, to a degree, sure. But it's the people who are doing the worst that need the most help. I don't like what Jeremy does. I don't particularly like Jeremy, obviously. I think we've established that. But he is someone who needs help. I was willing to help him because that's what he needs right now. And I think refusing to help people that need it makes the world a worse place. The problem is he has refused my help. So now I'm just like, all right, cool, dude. I was willing to be a nice guy. My lady, I'm a nice guy. No, we're not. My lady. We're not going there. But he rejected it. So now we're doing these videos about him. What are you guys doing? What is this? Dolly, thank you. Marentions, how's it going? Nice to see you here. The problem is that a severe lack of self-awareness. He's something like the final boss. And then Lion Jail has lawyers. I've called him this before and called him again. He's a narcissist, in my opinion. I'm not a professional. I can't diagnose him. And he's a compulsive liar. And those things combine to what we see here. Is it always has to be about him, but he will lie about what actually happened to make it benefit him the best. And the problem is, the reason I'm fairly certain he's a compulsive liar is because he lies about things he should know for sure that we can, like a 6-bedroom house, we can check that. You're a registered sex offender, guy. Your address is publicly listed. We can check how many rooms your house has. You bought it last year, unless I am mistaken. You really added 2 extra bedrooms in that time? Kind of doubt it, especially with all the legal fees. That would be very expensive. I don't think you can afford all of that, especially when you're like, I can't afford to pay my employees. Oh, sorry, contractors. Yes, I did that on purpose. That's just me being stupid. All right.
When the rescue operators are done with her, then you can question her all the fuck you guys...
Sure, I'm going to take charge of the scene. You don't get to take... This isn't your scene, Jeremy. You don't get a scene because you're not a police officer. So I guess the ambulance guys or whatever, the EMS is already there dealing with it. And the officer's like, yeah, come on here. And he's like, oh, I'm going to apply a tourniquet to her neck. I don't know. Like, no, that's not how this works. You're not in charge here. It's your home. It's not your scene. It's the police officer's scene. He could have been arrested right now at this point where he made it clear that he was not leaving. That is grounds for arrest. Like, okay, well, you've made it clear. You established beyond a reasonable doubt that you will not be leaving this house. So now we're going to arrest you. Irene, thank you. Been driven past Sandy right to a babbling idiot within minutes of trying to help him. He doesn't stop talking long enough to listen. Oh, it's true. I do want the police audio. I want those 911 calls, Train Boy. And thank you for your donation. But let's keep going with this.
1. Okay? Until my wife's safety is clear and she's in a bus moving, then you can go to the hospital and do whatever reports you think you're gonna do.
You do what you think you're going to do, man. Why is he telling them how to do a job that he's never had? He does not know how the police work. He pretends to. He has no idea. He knows how to dress like them. He knows how to talk like them with their codes, although he does get that wrong. He gets that wrong in this one, I think. He says 10-8, which I'm pretty sure is like in service or something. I don't know. I've never actually used 10-8. I just call it in service. Or it's like ready to move. I forget what it is, but it doesn't really make sense. It's possible it's a local Florida thing. Or he's like, I have a 0 in my room, which is, I guess, code for a gun. And code for gun is not uncommon because you don't necessarily want the general population around you to know that a gun is in play in a situation, right? Like, oh, he has a gun. You don't want to be like, hey, that man has a gun. Because you'll instill panic. You might have codes for that. So maybe they use 0. I don't know. I have no idea. That was not our code. I will not tell you our code because that would kind of defeat the purpose. But anyway.
Other than that, right now, my wife's priority is the most important.
Are you done yet?
My wife's priority is most important. I think what he meant was my wife's safety is my number one priority, and it's what's most important to me. It's a difficult time for him. I get it. I'll allow it, but like he is committing a crime right now. If I were in this position, this is the point where I usually explain to the person I'm about to arrest, like, hey, bud, here's how it works. If you do not come outside, I will arrest you for obstruction, which is funny because he's like, you can arrest me for it. So obviously he knows. I'm getting ahead of myself.
I am, but I'm not walking outside. If you're going to arrest me for resisting because I'm not going outside.
Oh, we're already there. All right. I always do this. I'm like, oh, it's coming up, and then it happens. No, they're not going to arrest you for resisting. They're going to arrest you for obstruction. Resisting really only happens if you're already being placed under arrest. And there are a couple types of resisting, by the way. There's resisting without force, and there's resisting with force. Different places will call it slightly different things. You might have resisting without violence or with violence, etc. So if you like lock up and you go, I'm not moving, you can't. That's resisting without force or without violence. If you're actually swinging to keep yourself from come at me, that's resisting with violence or with force. Also assaulting a police officer. So there is a difference. A lot of people don't actually realize that they're like, I'm not resisting, and they're like locking up their arms. Like, no, that's resisting. You're resisting. Does 10? He says 10A. Does that mean something in Florida? I looked. I think I didn't find anything. Let's keep checking.
Because my wife's on the ground, then we'll have some lawsuit later on down the road.
No, you're going to lose that lawsuit. You can't afford that lawsuit, guy. No. That's a very common thing, by the way, for police. Like, oh, I'll sue you. Like, okay, I know my job. And if you take me to court, you will also, at the end of the day, know my job as well. And then you'll be out a lot of money, and I will be paid to be there. So,
Okay, that sounds.
unless, of course, you're wrong and the police officer is wrong, in which case that is a very fair claim. I just, however, was pretty good at my job and was never sued. I was a very friendly guy. No one wanted to sue me.
It's great. Now you can step outside.
Step away, because the fire department's here.
I know.
Fire department just arrived.
I know. These guys are saying that they're trying to act stupid.
They're trying to act stupid, says the guy who is committing obstruction. Well done, Jeremy.
What's going on?
She slipped and fell, and she hit her head on the counter.
Yeah, but it's not stuff.
Again, that's fair. Like, that's honestly a very likely thing that happened. At no point have I seen anything that causes me to believe beyond a reasonable doubt that domestic violence has taken place. Now, this domestic violence is not like a 2-hour investigation. This could be over the course of several days. You might canvass the neighborhood and say, what did you hear? You might subpoena the Ring doorbell footage to get the full story. You definitely get Jeremy's statement. You get the wife's statement, hopefully before they can talk to each other. If there was a reason for them to create a fabrication of events, you'd want to talk to them before that happens. However, she is the victim, and therefore she can absolutely decline to make a statement. That she can also decline to press charges, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is actually a fairly complicated thing. If there was a domestic and they decided that they didn't want to investigate it, they can absolutely make it incredibly difficult for the police to investigate it. So I'm not saying there is a domestic. I honestly think there wasn't. You're welcome, Jeremy. But if there was, and there is always that slight chance, there's a good chance the police wouldn't really be able to do much about it.
And but it won't stop bleeding.
Okay. Let me have you roll you back here. Right here.
My daughter.
Let me go check. Let me go check on her.
My daughter, please.
Come here.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Hey guys, come here.
She didn't like being alone.
Yeah.
Smiled at me and I walked away. She got mad.
All right, bring in a stretcher. All right. Yeah, if she's too woozy to walk, stretcher's not unreasonable. That's fair. It looks like Jeremy's getting the baby. That's fine. Yeah, no, that checks out. I completely, good for him. I'm glad he thought to do that. These can be pretty stressful situations. You'd think someone who was a special forces may be able to deal with a stressful situation a little bit better, but maybe not. I can't speak for him. Yeah, it's his attitude changes significantly when he's not talking to the police, by the way. Because he thinks the police are out to get him, when in reality they were doing their job. There's nothing here that seems unreasonable. So
Yeah, they put in there.
count the doors. That doesn't look like 6 bedrooms. Which is not really. It feels like maybe that's a little inappropriate given the circumstances. But I honestly hope for the best for his wife.
The bottles with the hot water thing out of the kettle on the floor. She probably slipped and fell and dropped.
So what he's saying is they were making, doing a hot water thing for the baby's bottles. I don't know how that works. I don't have kids, which is great. Saves me a lot of money. I like kids. I don't know if I'd like my kids, I hear it's different once you actually have kids, but I'm not ready for it yet. Who's in that? That's got to be him in the picture. Alex, I'll take him. It's like people I'm glad I'm not neighbors with. Oh man, can you imagine a Jeopardy of Dewitte? That would be something. Sean, I'm guessing he is counting the some of the other rooms. I don't know about the other. Anyway, yeah, where's his ambulance? That's a good question. Anyway, so yeah, it appears to be. There you go, guys. The story appears to be that some water probably got on the floor. She probably slipped and fell, hit her head. Jeremy has then released more videos sort of explaining it, saying that, he was applying pressure to her head. She went outside to make a phone call. I think in this video he explains that it's a cell signal dead space where he's at. So it makes sense to go outside. It all checks out. All of the actions are reasonable within the story. Nothing stands out as like, that's wrong. And there are like little tiny bits and pieces like, but those tiny bits and pieces, unless they directly tie into something bigger, you can't focus on them too hard. Yes, you want to sort of play around with them, be like, but what if? But no warrant's going to be issued based on those. I get it, folks. I get it. Matt is Florida mandatory arrest state for DV. I don't know. I would hope so, but that's only if they actually believe he's committed domestic violence.
Dropped it, or it fell and dropped it, and the water spilled. Okay. So.
Our biggest concern is, obviously, she's saying that she had a neighbor that called in saying that she was outside yelling something.
Yeah, she was holding her head, and I was trying to put pressure on her head, and she was bleeding everywhere. And
Makes sense.
She set our daughter down, and I went outside and put.
The daughter's name is Amira. That's weird. Hey, Mr. Ledan, I know I owe you a lot of money. Do you read Grimm's fairy tales? Have you ever done that? You ever read those? Yeah, where you trade, your firstborn for something. Oh, you can't do that? That's not legal? Oh, okay. What are your thoughts on us naming our kid after you? in exchange for some forgiveness of what I owe. You cool? You know what? Oh, you're not sure? Okay, we're gonna do it anyway. And if you change your mind, we're already on the same page. All right. I don't look, man. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird that you name your daughter after your attorney, if that's what's actually happening. I don't know. It feels weird to me. And maybe they have a really great relationship, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It weirds me out. But it's not my kid. So, Simply Splashy. Hey, how's it going? How's the medical stuff? I think were you the one with the medical stuff? I'm almost certain. I'm so sorry if you weren't. 6-bedroom, 2-house, a lounge bedroom, a toilet, bedroom and a bathroom. Bedroom, oh no, kitchen, bedroom. This could be yours for a low price of $1.5 million. According to him. Anyway, yeah, I'll check. I do have to check my emails. I'm so sorry. I'm behind. It's a very busy week. Mark. Yes, exactly. We're same boat. Jimmy. Thank you. Oh no, to you. That was weird. All right. All right. We're gonna keep going.
Put pressure on her head and was like, "You need to calm down and come back inside." So.
Okay. It's very plausible, but when
It's very plausible.
you start acting the way you did,
And that's fair.
There's your
Yeah,
deputy
he's like,
in
look,
there.
your
Right.
story checks out. It makes sense. But you kind of got a little weird in there with the deputy. Probably shouldn't. He really shouldn't have done that, right? If all he had to do is step outside and be like, yes, here's my story, which he's already giving. Right, here's my story. They go, oh, okay. Well, we're going to have you stand out here so that we have room to operate and make sure she gets medical attention. You just hang out here. Just be cool. Enjoy that fresh air of that Florida sunshine. It's the sunshine state. No, like you would do that. You'd be like, hey, look, if you go back in there, it's going to be upsetting again. We don't want you back in there for your own health and our ability to operate. Like you get them out of the way. So, yeah. What was on Jeremy's TV? I have no idea. Oh yeah, I did that for you guys.
with her already.
Yeah, that
Fire
deputy, with all
department
due
is-
respect to you, and I don't mean
The
any
deputy.
disrespect.
I don't mean any disrespect.
I don't mean any. You guys are 10A.
You guys
I-
are 10A. Wait.
and I don't mean any disrespect.
It's
I don't mean any. You guys are 10A.
Oh, 10A or 10-8. I don't know. Bro, just say, you guys are great. Don't use this weird lingo stuff. No officer likes that. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. I was always, when some civilian is like, oh, here's some codes, I'd be like, okay, weirdo. Like, we don't even use codes with each other. It's fine. Like, if we don't have to use codes, like dispatch will get mad at us. Oh my God. So dispatch on JBLM also covers a lot of the area outside of the base. It's actually like a legitimate dispatch center that covers a lot of the area, not just military property. And so we'd use military terminology like breaker. That's not military terminology. But we'd use stuff that we would use in like combat radio stuff. And I don't have an example that's coming immediately to mind. They would get so mad. Like, excuse me, Patrol 35, that's unnecessary. Like, oh, my bad that I said over by accident. I just came back from a training environment where we did that. My bad, right? They get so mad. I mean, the whole code thing is whatever. You listen to police, like on your local scanner, they don't even use the phonetic alphabet correctly. It kills me. It's not a hard thing to learn. Hey, Levi, thank you. Oh, corrections. And the Marine corrections? No, thank you. Yeah, we had cage kickers. And let me tell you, it sounded really boring until it wasn't. I heard some stories, man. 24-hour official observation. Welcome back. Question, your aunt's opinion. Opinion. A little thing over the O. Do you think Jeremy on any level knows his mess up's actions are completely delusional? Do I think it's delusional? I think he knows at some level, but I think he's sort of ignoring it. I think he's gotten away with pretending that everything's okay for so long, getting away with it, that he's just going to keep doing that, and because he doesn't really have an alternative. I think he knows he's screwed, but he's going to go down as if he's the victim the entire way. Okay, that's not a super uncommon thing to see, but I just wish he'd be like, yeah, my bad. I just wish he'd be like, hey, I'm sorry for, I committed stolen violence. That's my bad. I want that from him because we know he wasn't a soldier. Like, that's so easy to be like, hey, sorry, guys. Aaron, I see a lot of comments saying, thank you for your donation. A lot of comments saying this should be a Netflix special type thing where JD be able to profit from it. I don't think so. They might use his likeness, or to get him to do an interview. There's some big YouTubers that are starting to talk about Jeremy. It's getting fairly into the mainstream after Dr. Phil. I honestly think there might be something about this in the next few years. Maybe it won't happen. It very well could not happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if it did. And I'm sure they'd probably pay him. I know there are like laws like, a person can't profit from the crime they've committed. I don't know if that would apply here, but I am familiar with that argument. Matt Liquor Marauder, hey, how's it going? Welcome back. Pirate MP here. Yeah. I'm so sorry. No, been on many DV calls as well as possible DV calls. First step is separate both individuals, figure out what happened. Second is avoid the kitchen area. Yes! Yes, and Sergeant E5 ETS. ETS, is that right? I think I got it right. We were also talking about that. You are correct. Stay out of the kitchen. I meant to tell you. You beat me to it. Yes, you keep them out of the kitchen because the kitchen will always have a knife. And even if it doesn't have a knife, you can assume that it has a knife. You keep them out of areas that are probably going to have dangerous items. One of the things about domestics is the victim can turn on you at any second. They can decide, you know what? No, I love my husband. I don't want to do this. There's a lot of gaslighting that happens in domestic environments, places where that's common. You think, why would someone stay with the person who keeps beating them? And that's where it gets weird because mentally, it shouldn't make sense, but it actually does if you go into the deep psychological stuff and the cycle of abuse. And so it's often two things. It's either they are like, but I love my man so much. He just made a mistake. I made him angry, which is where the gaslighting comes in. And then they'll be like, no, officer, get out of my house. And they might turn on you. They might physically attack you. I've never had that happen. I've seen people flip and be like, in the middle of giving a statement, actually, no, it never happened. Like, what do you mean it never happened? You said it happened. Nope, never happened. I was just distraught because you were here. Bad police, bad. I'm like, okay, well, and then you put that in the report, and then nothing happens because they're not willing to prosecute. Very upsetting. Or they think, if I don't side with my husband, I'm using husband in this situation because that's the dynamic here. It could be completely reversed. It could be a same-sex couple. This is just because this is the example we're reviewing. That's what I'm using. I've seen it in every single combination it could be. I'm pretty sure I've seen it with multiple spouses, like 3 or more partners. I'm fairly certain I've seen that. I'm almost positive. Could be wrong. Doesn't matter. I was going somewhere with this. Yes, okay. And they might be like, if I don't side with my husband, he'll hurt me. So then they grab a knife and, right in the stab vest, which doesn't protect as much as it should. But anyway, good point. Weapon-rich environment is the one that Sergeant E5 retired used, or ETS used, unless that was Master Sergeant retired. One of the two. I'm sorry for getting it wrong for one of you. Fellow 31 series, Christopher, what's up? Thanks for the donation. Question: has there been any headway into getting him charged for stolen valor? Well, one of the one of the things that was submitted for a court case coming up for him was his claim of military service. It would appear based on the wording of some of these court documents. So it might be happening at the state level. Federal level, I don't know. I believe there is still an investigation. I am still working in a civilian investigation with a group of us that are doing our own little thing. We will see. We hope something comes of it. If not, okay, cool, whatever. We tried. I'm happy we tried. Long handle orange screwdriver. You legit think she wears the pants in the family and he's more likely to be a victim? It's possible. It is absolutely possible. Sorry, there's a lot of chats I got to go through. Andrew L., do you think Jeremy's daughter's real name? Real father is Ramira Ladan. I have no evidence that is the case, but what a twisty twist that would be. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. Will I even hazard a guess that it is true? No, because Amir's a lawyer, and he appears to be a pretty good one, and I'm not going to put myself on that chopping block. I'm not. But I am familiar with that theory, and I love it. I will not give any credence to it. I will not say that it is true in any way until I have evidence, which I do not have. Did I see the DV case where they caught the victim and abuser in the same room during a Zoom court? I didn't, but I heard about it, and I have to watch that. I'm glad you pointed that out because that reminds me to go check that out. Did I miss anybody? I don't know if I miss anybody. How does being a sex offender and having a child work? Generally, you can have children if you're a sex offender. There might be certain, like if you actually like abused like a 5-year-old child repeatedly, yeah, they might be able to stop you from having kids. I don't know how that would work. I don't think Jeremy's case is at that level where they could stop him from having kids. There are different levels of sex offender. I don't think Jeremy's on that level. In fact, I can assume he definitely isn't because he has a child, and CPS has not taken that child away. So, why did the cops not insist Dewitte come outside to separate? I'm guessing because EMS showed up, and at that point they couldn't really get a statement from the wife anyway. So there's really no point. They're like, well, we'll get the statement later type situation. And then they ended up getting his story anyway. They went, okay. Right? You separate them so that you can get both stories at the same time. But since EMS arrived, like you can only get one story, so what's the point? Well, you don't need it right then, right there. Get one at the hospital, get one from Jeremy if he's willing to give it, etc. And also the officer's probably like, I don't want to deal with this today. James. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. Anything.
Appreciate your service, okay? But I don't care who.
Yeah, 10A, I have no idea. I would like 10-4 would be more appropriate. Like 10-4 means everything's good. So, example, if your dispatch will check up on you during a call, like every 5 minutes or so, and like, hey, patrol 3-5 status, and go code 4. Cool. Or you might give more information. It's usually just code 4. So, like, hey, you guys are code 4. Like, you guys are okay. Would be, I think, the appropriate code for that. I don't know what 10-8 is. But what do I know? I'd be a good juror on the Chauvin trial. Maybe I do have, I think, some content on the Chauvin situation from a while ago, sort of explaining why it's a little bit more complicated than people might think. I don't think they'd let me be. I actually got a summons for jury duty. I think it was last week. I'm very excited about that. I've never been on it. They're probably going to turn me away because I have law enforcement experience, but I don't know. The assumption is that I will side with law enforcement, which is fair. I'm not saying I would, but I know people who were law enforcement who definitely would side with law enforcement. Not everyone would. I know a lot of very objective, like, give me the facts type people, but I know a few officers are like, no, police. And that's where the issue with the thin blue wall of silence type situation comes from. I don't think the Army had it nearly as bad as civilians did or do, which is why I'm like, no, it's not a thing. Like, it's not as bad as you think. And maybe it is. I didn't experience it to the level that people seem to think it exists. But I think that has to do with the military having like different levels of punishment for when things go wrong that are more applicable. So you actually do get people do get in trouble more often because there are more like a longer list of punishments to administer. Because if you only have a few punishments, if you only have like a meh punishment or like a really intense punishment, you're going to ignore a lot of in between. It's like it's not worth doing the meh punishment. It's definitely not worth the like really intense punishment. So that might be an issue. Also, you move around so often, you don't have time to develop those ties to people that can really get you, those political ties that will get you out of trouble when you really shouldn't be getting out of trouble. I think the military in that regard has a really good system going. It isn't a great system for civilians because it's very, very helpful to know the area that you're in. So you have like a really big area or a very dangerous area that can be very detrimental. Now, a lot of people are like, yeah, MPs, like everyone there is trying to kill you or could kill you. And that's true, but you also have this really big element of, obeying leadership, right? Like my authority carries, and people will often respond to it because they're so indoctrinated into that rank structure in the military. And I can arrest civilians like that. Absolutely. I have full law enforcement, everything over everyone on JBLM, every single person. So that, some people are confused about that. They don't realize that. But it does help. It does help significantly. There are a lot of challenges I did not have to face on the military base that civilian officers would have to face, and a lot of challenges that I had to face that civilian officers wouldn't. I was real law enforcement. I did the job. It does count. Some people seem to think it doesn't. They don't know. It's fine. But, Paul, thank you. Epic fail. Carlos, thank you. More funny content, you got it. Just for you, Carlos. Just for you. That was because it was funny, not because I'm calling you out for anything. Noel, D-Bag lies as much as he breathes. I don't believe it was an accident. He's lucky I'm not in Florida. Deputy Chief Daughter Marine and Army Granddaughter want to claw his eyes out. I believe it. And I get the sentiment. Don't get me wrong. I get the sentiment. It's just that from my perspective, I'm viewing this as if I was the investigator on the scene. There's nothing here that stands out that says he's definitely committing a crime. There are certainly, you could be like, oh, well, I mean, this could be this could be that. Maybe you pushed him, maybe you didn't. But the facts most strongly support the story that Jeremy is giving. And absent facts that put that into a certain level of question, there's not much we can do. And sure, maybe he's getting away with something. But on the other hand, we can't just make things up and go with it, because then innocent people get hemmed up in things they shouldn't. And that's very important to me, is to not get innocent people for things they didn't do. It's also very important to me to stop crime. But it is actually a fairly challenging thing. How much power can you give the police? How much authority? But how much will that screw over people that aren't doing the right or aren't doing the wrong thing? It's a balance, and there's going to be some stuff lost on either end, unfortunately. But it's the system we got. I'm not saying it's the best system, but it works. I haven't been able to think of anything better. Yeah, I'm keeping it up. Thank you for this. I love the stickers. They're so fun. Andrew, Jeremy probably loved his wife spending the night in the hospital. You got a 1069. I see what you did there. That I wish I'm getting a little ding bell. That would have gotten the ding. I want you to know. I got nothing. That gets my stamp of proof. There you go. I don't think that's going to become a thing. That's beautiful. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I'm rambling. I'm having a lot of fun with this one. You guys are great. It's been a
You
while
are
since
who he is around my wife. I'm going to make sure my wife's okay. Once she's clear, then you can go ahead and try to find out whatever you're trying to find out right now, okay?
Jeremy's still trying to keep
Your side of
I
what's happening.
totally understand. I'm telling you.
Oh, for those of you wondering, there's a stripe over that star. You see that right there? That indicates that an officer has died. And it might not be an officer in their department. It might be someone in Florida. It might be someone, somewhere else in the country. But if you see that on an officer's badge, that means someone has died. I've seen people harassing officers about it, like, oh, did someone die? Oh, don't be that guy. Come on. Just please, just don't. Hey, Paul, thank you. Thank you. Oh, Matt, stop it, you.
What happened. So,
Thank you,
along with all
Handle.
the other
I'm sorry. Excuse me. Oh, the vaccine. It's got me. All right. How do I think he's going to act during his upcoming trial? I think he's going to be real quiet and let Amir do most of the talking. I don't think he's going to let himself get put on the stand. I think Amir is going to be like, we saw how you did on Dr. Phil. You're not getting up on that stand, which means that no one can cross-examine him, because if they cross-examine him, I think he's done. That's going to be a problem. I don't think we're going to hear much from him, but I think there's going to be some fun facial expressions. Nate Rose, thank you. As a current firefighter, EMT over here in Germany. Oh, yeah, we've talked, haven't we? We have. Yes, of course we have. If I had a person like Jeremy hovering over me, I would have asked the officers to remove him. Yes. Yes. Now, this officer is keeping him away, and, I mean, at least there's that. So it's not like the officer is not doing anything important. But, yeah, if he'd been like, I have to be there, he would have been removed, 100%. But I think they sort of settle on a happy medium to keep him in control, but also to keep him away so they can do their job, which is fair. He did get him away from the kitchen. I am nobody. Exactly. That's exactly it. They got him away from that situation so he wasn't, like, all up in their business. They didn't get him outside. And I think they decided, you know what? We're fine. We're not getting the statement right now because EMS already has her. It's too late for that. So we don't have to get him outside. It's fine. We will adapt to the situation. I think they adapted fairly well. And when is his trial, Carlos? I meant deputy. I'm sorry if I say officer about these guys. They are deputies. And like I told you guys, I was going to mess it up. Rennie, thank you for calling me out. When is his trial? It's next month. It starts, I think. One of the first one. It'll be Christmas spam. Yes, Matt. Oh, that reminds me. I'm trying to put together some new merch. One of them is going to be like, that really sizzles, or that really fries my bacon. And it's just being angry face. Maybe. I'm workshopping it. April 5th. Okay, that sounds right. April 5th. First court date for one of his whatevers.
Fake charges that Osceola and Orange County has already filed on me. I can give a shit what you're saying with all due respect to you. I mean it with the utmost respect. I really do. But you have to understand where I'm coming from right now. I just don't care what you or anyone else is saying.
Oh, wait, Carlos.
So
You distinctly remember a new guy, because you were, if I remember correctly, you were a contractor. Didn't we? We had a good talk about that. Were you the person that called in? I don't. It was so long ago. I'm sorry. My mind is gone. Distinctly remember a new guy at Metro State who last one day after I made him cry for bowling saying to me, geez, 10-8 or 10-6. I love it. You'd think I'd remember these things. Thank you, Rachel. You'd think that some of it would rub off on him. You'd think so. So far, it does not seem to have. I think here's the problem, psychologically. He views me as someone who's attacking him. And to a degree, I am. I am attacking him for being stupid. But I tried to help in the beginning, and he refused it and then lied about me and insulted me. I was like, all right, the gloves are off. Let's go. And now we're doing this. Yeah, I was not his enemy. But now I feel like I'm his arch nemesis. And it's kind of fun. Am I the bad guy? I'm his bad guy. Really depends on how you're looking at it. I might hit you up on that. Matt? Wait. I should open up a hotline for people to call in. It's actually a plan of mine. There's a device. Oh, we're going to take a break from this video real quick for me to talk to you about this guy. I'm so excited. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. There's a device that you hook up to your computer, and it goes to Google Voice. You can plug it into a real phone. I'm going to get like a stupid, weird phone and just be like, all right, open for calls. I'm just going to accept it. Be like, yes, hello. And we're just going to talk. And we're going to try that out. And it's going to be great. Like, there are some great, like, those lip phones, the hamburger phones. You better believe those are going to be showing up on this channel. And then, like, every time I get, because I'm going to swap them out. Every time I think I'm just going to, like, throw them on eBay. Sign it, throw it on eBay. You guys get to own a part of the show. I don't know. I had this idea, like, a month ago. 2 months ago? It wasn't that long ago. I don't know. I think it's genius. I'm super excited for it. Once my schedule gets back to normal, that's definitely something I'm going to be looking into. Thank you, Carlos. Oh, Massachusetts. Right, yeah. Massachusetts. Good old Massachusetts. Good old Mass. Who's the other one? Doesn't matter. I'm just all over the place. The clear phone with the neon lights. You know it. Hell yeah. I remember the 90s, too. Bat phone, yes. We'll make that happen. All right. At some point, we're going to finish this video.
Over here and sit down, and then we'll show.
All right, she looks fine. They're putting a neck brace on her. That seems like more of a precautionary thing than anything. That's fair. Okay. Let me see your head, though, real quick.
Okay, you can sit down first.
Over here and sit down, and then we'll show.
Might be above the hairline. I don't know what's happening.
Here, right over here. Sit down there.
They might have glued it shut. There are a lot of options to keep from bleeding. And then once I get to the hospital, they would have cleaned that out and then redone it properly, appropriately for whatever was the situation. It's a different Carlos. That's right. There are too many of you. Fight to the death. I'm just kidding. No. Tampa PD. That makes sense. Yeah. Thanks for that depressing message, long handle. I appreciate it. Thank you. The old Grouch. Hey, how's it going? It's a crying baby. I love it. Sports Illustrated shoe phone. There we go.
There we go. Okay.
All right, into the stretcher. Good. Great. Fine.
No, she kept consciousness and then
What's this at over here?
34758. Excuse me.
Looks like they're checking for blood on the gloves.
Okay, you're good. We got a
There you go. You don't want to spread blood everywhere. It's fine. It's fair. Would gluing a head wound risk internal bleeding? I have no idea because all of my medical training is combat related, and we didn't care about internal bleeding. It was, you fix them now so they can get to the helicopter to get out of there. If we don't have a helicopter, they better be able to ride in a Humvee because you're driving them back. Mark. I'm not going to read that one. Oh, that's so inappropriate. Oh, man, I'm mad at myself for laughing at that. Now that's fair. The blood, long handle, yeah, massive amount of that clear blood. And then Christopher Tiller, you die a villain or live long enough to see yourself become the hero. That's right. So the blood, I mean, it's possible that they got something on the head real soon and it just didn't stop, and then they did clean it up and they kept it contained, and the EMS arrived and cleaned it up. It's entirely possible. Just because there's a lot of bleeding does not mean that it's getting all over the clothes. However, it is weird that there isn't like a little bit. It's not like unreasonable. It's not impossible. It's not unheard of by any means. But it's a little odd. Maybe there's a little exaggeration. Maybe not. Questions?
Hey, Dad, where you feel comfortable with her going? Osceola Regional or Poinciana Medical?
Whichever one's closer.
It's about 50-50 from here, dude.
It's about
yeah.
50-50. Oh, I laughed so hard when I heard that. Just because, he's like 50-50 in the intersection. And just to hear that someone say 50-50 to him, this is a very serious situation, folks. Don't laugh. But it's absolutely hilarious. Tough Jiggly. Phenomenal name. They say everyone is the protagonist of their own story. Yeah, no, I think Jeremy absolutely thinks he's the protagonist, and everyone's out to get him. Here's the thing, folks. If the entire world's out to get you, it might actually be you that is the problem. Got any cage kicker stories? You know what? I wasn't a cage kicker. I do have stories dealing with cage kickers in training. I'm going to give you a great one about a guy who was in our D cell. That's kind of like being in cage kickers, putting someone in the D cell. D cell is the drunk tank or the detention tank or the detention cell. Basically, it's a room. It's a concrete. It's within our PMO, Provost Marshal's office, which is the police station. Old Grouch, thank you. I love it. I love it. Nate, thank you. I'll get to that story in just a second. Looks like she hit right above her left eyebrow. The C-collar is just as a precaution in case she injured her neck. That's what I thought, like just in case. Like it's just a precaution. The fact that they have her like walking around a little bit is pretty indicative that like there isn't a serious spinal injury, I would think. Yeah, injury above the eyebrow would check out. That's why I didn't see any scarring. Or any super, super visible cut. I was looking across the forehead like an idiot. Anyway, just because I have nothing better to do, let's tell this story. We got this guy. He was drunk, and I want to say he was like a sergeant. And this is actually somewhat domestic related. He was drunk. It might have been a domestic call. I'm pretty sure it was a domestic call. I'm almost certain it was a domestic call. And we arrested him. We put him in the D cell. Which again is a room inside the Provost Marshal's office, concrete cinder block. It's got a steel sliding door that locks. The glass is like it's fairly thick, and it's got a wire mesh in it to sort of strengthen it. And this guy was mad. I was not one of the people that threw him in there. I was on scene. I was doing paperwork at the time, I think. I say we arrested him. I dealt with him after. Let me correct myself. I was there, and then all of a sudden, like, someone starts yelling. There's this just enormous banging noise, and this dude has broken through what is probably like a half inch of glass, if not a full inch of glass, with like a reinforced mesh in it, with his forehead. No one's people beat that glass regularly. No one had ever beaten that glass before, and this guy did it with his forehead, and he's bleeding everywhere, and he's ready to fight. And like we had to go in and hold him down. I didn't get any blood on me. I think a couple people got a little bit on them. They got new uniforms out of it. Good for them. A little jealous. Held him down, handcuffed him, hogtied him, I think, on that one. Addressed his wounds, and got medical there to treat him. And then I think he passed out after that. He was like, I'm sleepy now. The next day, we had to transport him back home after his unit was done with him to get his stuff so that we could put him in jail. So JBLM has its own little, like, zero security prison. And basically we put people there pending their trial. So military police, let me back up. I'm not telling this story very well. I haven't told this story in a very long time. You have arrest and you have apprehension. Apprehension means that we hold you in the D cell at most. and we release you to either your own reconnaissance because you're a civilian, or we release you to your unit because you're a soldier, and then they deal with you. If you're actually arrested, you're going to pre-trial confinement, which generally means you're going to that jail on base. It is an actual jail. It is a military, I won't want to say prison because that seems a little excessive. It has guard towers, it has barbed wire, it has all the bells and whistles. It's a pretty chill place, apparently. It has its own garden. Some of them, the good people get Xboxes. It's great. Except you're in jail. And we had to put him there because he was a danger to everybody. Obviously, a man who can break through reinforced glass like that with his forehead is a danger to his wife. So this was definitely domestic. We went to his house to get his stuff, and every single wall in his house had a hole punched through it. Every single one. And that was when I'm like, well, I'm really glad I don't deal with these people on the regular, because no thank you. No thank you. What's the population at like those? What is the population like at those types of military jails? I've only been in it twice. It's not an enormous amount. It's not a huge, it's mostly pre-trial and then like sentences less than 5 years. Probably sentences like a year or at most. It's nothing crazy. And the people are pretty calm and respectful. When I went in there, everything was super chill. Everyone was behaving themselves. The people in there are not people who were, built to be in prison. These are soldiers, sure. But to get into the army, you usually have to have a pretty clean background. In prison, you often see people who have lived a life of crime. And they're very aggressive people, and they're this was not that. It was fairly chill, but like I didn't want to be there when it wasn't. I didn't want to be at Leavenworth, which is like the prison of prisons for the military. So, should I react to Jeremy's vlogs? You better believe I'm going to. I'm sorry. So that's the story.
We'll get down there and take a look.
I know. Standing on a puppet.
Yeah, the mommy's in the bedroom over there. We just had puppies yesterday, actually.
What kind of dogs are they?
Shih
Where he
Tzus.
impersonated a vet. That was his little joke.
They look
Instead
like
of confessing to be like, hey, sorry guys, I've been pretending to be a soldier this entire time, he decided to make a joke out of it because apparently that's funny. It's not, Jeremy. It's not funny. Anyway.
Yeah, right now they're ugly.
Yeah.
Mannheim. I remember Mannheim. Yes. I never went in Mannheim, but I was in the area. I knew someone who actually had to go work at Mannheim. It was Mannheim's the one in Germany, right? The American prison in Germany. Yes. Good old Mannheim.
Thank you. Like rats.
I'll be right there, honey. I'll be right there, okay? I'll feed her, and then I'll be right there. Well,
Just take it up nice and easy, bud.
Yeah.
We'll take a non-emergency response up there.
yeah.
You
Okay.
get up there, just go in the main ER entrance, give her a name, and they'll let you know which
Okay.
one she's in.
Sounds good.
Someone's going to say it. Don't you do it. And if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you. I was right. Mannheim. Sarah Marie, those guys were just the government-trained killers. Super chill. No, they are. They're actually super chill. The problem is when they're not super chill. When they're ready to go, right? Like when I was there, super duper chill. I didn't want to be there when it wasn't. I'll tell you that. Oh, Brian did it. All right, anyway. Metro Paramedic Escort Services. Oh, man. "80-year-old woman through a glass store window?" We talking Nuremberg Green Goose? I remember the Green Goose. That was the place where soldiers went to get in trouble. Sergeant E5 ETS. How's it going? It's good to see you. When I was in the Army, we called the CCF Charlie's Chicken Farm. Oh, I love it. I don't know if we had a name for ours. I will tell you a fun story about ours. It has guard towers, but the towers are so full of asbestos that you can't have any guards in them. So there are mannequins dressed like soldiers. And I'm sure everyone there knows, but they do it anyway, just because. Aaron, thank you. The story about the boat. Which story about the boat? I have a couple of stories about boats. Which boat story was I talking about? Where in Washington am I from? I mean, if we want to get into technically where I'm from, I'll tell you where I am right now. I'm in Seattle. That's where I live. That's where my residential address is. Good old, you're in, where you, I was just in Olympia today, actually. It's funny that we should, why aren't we all hanging out? What is this nonsense? In 2 weeks, my vaccination will be complete. I will hang out with people in Washington. I won't necessarily like come to you, right? But if you're in Seattle, I will do like, hey, there are bars that are open. I miss bars. He says on his shirt, Garnet. From the stream where you smashed a boat. Oh, boat story. The boat's actually still right there, by the way. It's right there. I just left it there because shame on me. Boat story. Which one was I talking about? I mean, there are a couple green geese. All right, let's do it. Send me an email. We'll make it happen. We'll send Snapchats out. Like, that's what the kids do. Why didn't you take her in the Metro State ambulance? Ryan, I know. I would do a meet and greet. I'd love to meet you guys. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Boat story. I need help. I need help remembering what the context of the boat story was. Now I'm stuck on this. Oh, honor? Yeah. No, we always had whoever's picking them up clean up after they peed. We had a lot of people in the D cell that would pee everywhere. And then whoever picked them up, their lieutenant, their sergeant, whatever, we'd give them a mop and a bucket and be like, "This is your problem. Go." And always make them mad. Boat story. Oh. Now I'm upset because I want to know what the boat story was. Have I smelled the aroma from Tacoma? The Tacoma aroma? Have I smelled it? Yes. It has improved over the years. I will say that. Ever visit Nashville? I've never visited Nashville, I don't think. The boat was about... Well, I smashed the boat with Stolen Valor because Jeremy was making fun of... was insinuating that What's-His-Face didn't have the credentials to look him up. I don't remember the boat story. I'll just tell you a boat story. It's not necessarily a fun boat story. I must have a fun boat story. Danny Banani, no crazies. It's probably gonna be some crazies. In 2 weeks when my vaccination is official, I'm down. What was his live video? Wiesbaden. Oh, good old Wiesbaden. Who's here's been to Rotenburg? You know what? Keep refreshing my memory on the boat thing. We're gonna keep going with this video.
He said she was in here. She was here.
Yeah, because she pulled the kettle.
Flea Willy. Oh my god. Oh. Stamp of approval. I'm not gonna repeat it, but I approve.
Up from here, and I don't know what happened exactly. Next thing I know, there's water. She's on the floor, and I rushed over.
Does she suffer from any medical conditions that make her lose consciousness or faint?
No.
The police are like,
We've been
hanging
under
out
a
in
lot
this
of
kitchen.
pressure, as you can assume, but our daughter was in the high chair. I ran over and grabbed her. You can see it's only halfway open. You know, after I put...
I explained to the police, explained to the police.
My...
Recording.
As much as any baby should be, but even more. The road to get here was very hard.
Oh, he's talking about the miscarriages. Fair. The Criminal Justice Museum, Nate. I've been there a few times. That one is so much fun. If you guys ever end up in Rotenburg, which is a delightful town, first of all, take the Night Watchman tour. He's hilarious. If he's still there, welcome to Rotenburg. Today we have a very special thing to tell you. I'm pretty sure that's how he talks. If you've ever met him, you'll know. Here we have. Delightful guy, a lot of fun. Great tour. But there is a criminal justice museum of like, here's how they used to punish people in Germany. If you didn't have your bread correct, you'd be submerged in water repeatedly. Like, what? Like, oh, did you argue as husband and wife too much? Here are iron masks that you had to affix to your faces that were attached in the center, and you just had to stare at each other all day. Were you a bad musician? Here's an iron mask that would be affixed to your face with an instrument so that people can make fun of you. Like, for being a bad musician? Excuse me? Like, it's so great. It's so much fun. Oh, it's so good. Book has tried over the lies removed by security from Dr. Phil. Yeah, so I think the boat thing was just I was just being mad. Boat story? The only one that's coming to my head, I know I have a couple boat stories. The only one that's coming to my head right now is a kayaker who drowned and then washed up on shore after they got drunk. And then later, someone, like 2 days later, was like, oh yeah, I heard someone yelling for help. I didn't really think anything of it. Like, what are you doing? What? Come on, guy. Like, we send rescue divers to well, that's the Criminal Justice Museum is the Torture Museum, which is like, wait a second, those things should be different. Charges in Chicago were dropped. Yeah, they decided not to pursue them. I'm sure they could have, but maybe the guy didn't want to pursue charges. Maybe they contacted Florida and was like, hey, this is one of your guys. And they went, oh, we have so many charges against him, it's not worth it. Just we'll be fine. We got him. Could be a lot of things. Gravy boat. I don't have a gravy boat story. Do I have a gravy boat story? I don't think so. I mean, if you want to distract me from this stream, I will just tell you stories all day. Like, I love it. What gigglies? Gigglies?
Here was very hard. What are you doing?
Broadview Tap House. Hey, Herman, if you're buying, and thank you, if you're buying, I will be there. All right.
Yeah. And where did Mommy put your pacifier? I don't know where she put it. Just sit tight.
Oh yeah, no, they probably did, Hank. They probably did rename it.
Did she run out the back door or did she run out the front?
She went out the front door to make the phone call.
Oh, this is the zero part. Yeah. I forgot.
Sometimes
about
we
that.
don't get very good reception in the house.
And this is where he's like, oh yeah, no, like she went outside. I think this is what he's saying. She went outside because we don't get very good reception in the house, which is fair. What are the top 10 lies about me? That I am actually this good looking? No, I don't know. I have about 30 degrees on either side where I actually look good. You go anywhere in other direction, it's just like, oh. No, I'm just kidding. Because people are like, oh, he's so handsome. Like, where were you on Tinder 2 years ago? I'm just kidding. No, I was happily dating 2 years ago. 10 lies about... I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty honest with you guys. Number one lie would be that I'm not a soldier. Some people like to be like, he's not a real soldier. That happened actually when I first started our channel. I was hit really hard with that by a couple people, well, like 5 people. Like really, I almost pursued criminal charges for electronic harassment. Another lie is that I was never a real police officer, or that, MPs aren't real police. That's not true. We are sworn officers. We do enforce law. We can't arrest civilians. Just like any police department, we do have a territorial jurisdiction. So people are like, well, you can only do it on the base. Like, yeah, and Seattle police can only do it in Seattle. Unless they have concurrent jurisdiction with other agencies. It's crazy, I know. But yeah, no, I don't think there are any like significant lies. Oliver says, and thank you for the donation, is JD moving up to Patty Mayo levels of allegedly impersonating police, or are they searching this place? I think JD is well above that. Patty Mayo did it as an actor. Jeremy does it in real life. And when Patty Mayo was like confronted about it legitimately, he's like, no, this is all an act. None of this is real, right? Like, he's presented on YouTube as if it's real, and then later he like stopped presenting it as if it was real. He put out a disclaimer. It's not necessarily a very large disclaimer, but he did put one out. He presented it as if it was real, but he never did it for real. That's the difference. Oh, MP Canine. Heck yeah, Hank. That's what's up. Were you on Tinder 2 years ago? You should look on Grindr. I was tearing it up. I am very popular with gay men. I am personally not gay. Nothing wrong with it. Just not my thing. Respect if you are. But I get hit on by men much more than I get hit on by women. Which is like, ooh, what a compliment. Thank you. I'm not going to sleep with you, but I appreciate you letting me know. Now, if you could tell that lady right there how you feel about me and convince her to feel the same, now we're good. No, but, it's Here's the thing. I'd be the king of Grindr. I tell you what, I wouldn't. Just add my info for record check. Ha! That's the thing is I don't give out that info. And at the end of the day, like the people who were after me, I was giving them everything. I gave them my DD-214. I redacted my information. Like I have the document. Here it is. They're like, well, it's too yellow. Like, because I have a yellow bulb in this room. Like it's not like a white incandescent. It's an older bulb. It could be anyone's paperwork. Like, okay, you reverse Google image search, try to find this paper. I'm not giving my name. I'm not giving my social. I'm not giving that information. At the end of the day, if you don't believe I'm a soldier, I will not prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. But that's only to protect my privacy. And it's more to protect the privacy of my family. I signed up to do this internet stuff. They did not. I get a lot of harassment. I can handle a lot of harassment. I dealt with it in person, in real life, as an MP. They did not. I do not want to subject them to what I receive on a daily basis. And I will not. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, I will not provide the substantial evidence of this. The only person who can confirm this for legitimacies is my moderator, Rennie. She actually does have that information. We know who each other are. That she is the only person on the internet in which I do this that is fully aware of all that stuff. Do not come after her and try to find it, because she knows I will kill her if she releases it. But not really. That is a joke. But yeah. It'd be weird for a stolen valor case to call someone out for stolen valor, especially since I'm like, I don't remember like all the acronyms and stuff. Someone who's committing stolen valor generally tries to like memorize all that stuff. I was like, I don't even remember it when I was in. Real soldiers get the chicks. That's right. Hey, thanks, Randy. I'm going to tell you a secret. I accidentally gave her my information. I gave her a document like, look, we can buy these challenge coins. And it had my actual name on it. And I was like, well, I messed up. And I'm like, well, now you have it. If you're going to use it nefariously, you have everything you need. So now I'll be completely open. And which is great, because now we have a really good relationship, business-wise and friend-wise. So it's nice to have someone on the inside. The rest of you aren't getting it, though, because I messed up. It was a mistake. It wasn't meant to happen. 100,000. You know what? For 100,000, I might sell that. Let me change my name first, so that my family doesn't get involved.
And the only way to get reception is to go outside.
Reception, something about a 0. I don't know. We're just gonna. They're like going to a room, because now I think they are just checking. Like, all right, was anything weird in this area? And he's like, oh, I have a less lethal. I have a 0 in there, but it's less lethal. And they're like, cool, then don't go in there. They're like, just say I have a less lethal pepper ball gun, dude. And he's like, hey, I have a pepper ball gun in there. It's not a real gun. It looks like it. I'm gonna stay away from it. If you want to go check it and confirm where it is, that's fine. Like, don't make this weird. MPI wasn't really MPs. Well, yeah, that's fair. It's a step above. No, it's investigations as opposed to like patrol work. I was no longer a first responder. It was very disappointing. I liked being a first responder. I was very happy when my 2 years was up. Because usually MPI, DST, that sort of thing, they only do it for like 2 years. And then they cycle you out for someone else. And that keeps the MPs that you have on a base fairly knowledgeable. Even if they're not in MPI, they'll still have that MPI knowledge as a first responder. It's a great system. Change my name to Brett Solomon. Yeah. No. I appreciate the donation, though. Thank you. Hey, Sergeant E5, if you want to, I'm not going to ask for it, but if that's something you want, sure. I already know who you are and your address and your family. That's a joke, by the way. I do not have that information. There are some people in my Discord that I do have that information on, which is weird. I'm not going to do anything with it, but like some of you, I know who you are. No, it is true. And don't make this weird. It's just that investigators. It's what I do. I just check up on people. I do little fact checks to be like, who are you? Who are you really? But yeah. Oh, Jesse. I think Jeremy was talking about himself when he said we have a 0 in the room. Ooh.
Just want to make sure.
Nathaniel. Yes, MPs are police. That's why you can't go 26 and 25. Yeah, they are. They can be a little brutal on that. On giving tickets. Especially like the privates, like I can do anything. Like they learn quick. You give a 26 to a 25 to like a sergeant first class, someone's gonna yell at you. Like, what are you doing, dude? Give him a warning. Pull him over. Sure, give him a warning. God, like no one wants that. Not that you can't. You absolutely can. But like people are gonna get mad at you, which is dumb. Like you shouldn't let that stop you. But like 26 and 25, I go 26 and 25. I try to keep it less than 5 over, so I won't stop anyone for basically what I'm already doing. I hold people to my standard. I like to think my standard is pretty good. But if it's within the standard I give myself, I'm not going to call you out for it. I might let you know. I'm not going to give you a ticket. But I would pull you over at 10. I would give you a ticket at 15. Unless you were an asshole, and then you pay the asshole tax, which means you just made it worth my time to do the paperwork because you were a dick. Asshole tax. Anyway. Aaron. Did he follow up with Dr. Phil's offer to help based on the videos he's put out where he's like, Dr. Phil, everything was a lie? Probably not. Oh, look, it's his face. Wait, what shirt is he wearing? Oh, it's just a black shirt. It's not one of his uniforms. It might be a sword shirt. I don't know.
That cell phone clip is hers. It was on the floor in the water, so I'm assuming it was right there. I know. Hold on. I'm assuming it was right there, and that napkin is usually slid way over on the side.
Buff 20, you
floor,
better believe
so I'm
he
assuming
would.
right there.
If he makes my job more difficult than it needs to be, he's getting the asshole tax. I will try to reason with him, but if it goes beyond reason, I'm like, oh, cool. Well, you want to play that game? Cool. Well, you can take it to a judge, and that would be the problem. Wait, who was that? Who was talking about the internet community about this guy? It's nuts, isn't it? Andrew, I know. Like, I just made a video that I wanted to be like a one-off video and then move on. And then people are like, no, make more. Like, make more? Yes. Like, okay, hey, whoa, hey. And now it's paying my mortgage. So, the money goes to the channel, but it allows me to put that money towards the channel and not worry about paying for my house. Houses are expensive in Seattle. No, I love that this has become my thing. I will eventually move on. It probably will be relatively soon. I'll miss you guys. I hope you stick around once we move on to other topics. I really do. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun as things progress. I have big plans. I have puppet plans. We're gonna get a puppet. We're gonna have a second officer. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be phenomenal. Stick around for that. How long have I been doing this? What time? Oh my god. Oh, it's only 2 hours. Never mind. I keep forgetting I didn't start at 4.
Give me a second.
Oh, Civil Air Patrol. Heck yeah. Hey, I have some good friends in Civil Air Patrol. I never did it, but it's good stuff.
Can you hold this for yourself for a second? No? Okay.
Nate. Nothing. You get 6 privates and lost. Oh, mechanics, yes. The Green River Killer, yes. I'm going to try to do that this summer. We're going to try. There's one last shot I need for my intro to sort of let the world know that it's happening. I have to go fly a drone in a cemetery, which might be illegal. I'm not sure. No one has told me that. I've looked. I don't think it's illegal. We'll find out, though. I try to be very, very careful with not breaking drone laws because they can be very strict. I'm going to look again, just to make sure. But it's going to be a good shot.
Just to let you know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, listening.
All right, 2 patrol cars. That checks out. It is illegal? Yeah, I mean, it's private property. So I'm pretty sure if I get permission from the whoever owns the whatever, it'll be fine. In fact, I know that it would be fine as long as I'm not too close to an airport or anything like that. I have an app that actually tells me Nomadic, you're right. You're absolutely right. Unless I can file a flight plan with the FAA and do it within those 5 miles. But that's a lot of paperwork. I would absolutely do that paperwork to make sure it's all in line. I have the Before You Fly app or something like that. which tells me if the exact GPS coordinates I put in or am at is within a no-fly zone or a zone that has extra like cautionary whatevers. But yeah, no, I will, like, I take drone stuff very seriously. So
I understand.
right. Oh, good point. The vehicles are black and white. We've seen this before. Like, we've had officers in his home wearing uniforms that look like the uniform Jeremy wears. Those patrol cars are black and white. That's an excellent. Let me hold on. Boom. That looks black and white. Now, of course, the scheme is different than what he has, but it is black and white. And Jeremy's like, well, they don't use black and white. And then he later said, well, they do use black and white, but they didn't when we started. Well, it doesn't matter when you started and when they started. They're using it. You look like police now. They have more authority. Like, their scheme takes precedence over yours. You're not going to be like, hey, I already used this scheme in my civilian job. This paint scheme. Can you use a different one? It's not how it's going to work, bud. They're going to be like, actually, no, you need to change it because we're the government. Stop it. Anyway. Oh, are they dark green? Look, man. Look, all right, they're dark green, but they look black. All right, so if you're seeing that in your rear view mirror, maybe through some tint, it's gonna look black, right? In the right sunlight, in the right whatever. Anyway, but I digress.
I understand.
Wobble, wobble, wobble. That officer, I'm sure he's a great officer. You need to run more, bud, for your own safety, for everyone's safety. Love what you do. Thank you for everything. Nothing but respect. But, like, guy, now is not the time to look like that. Not in this, the way the world is viewing police right now. Now is not the time. My 2 cents.
It's just a matter of reinserting ways to keep our sergeants out of our hind end.
I
That's all
understand.
that we were doing.
Sure.
It's not purple. It's
Totally
blue.
I
get it.
understand you may have had bad.
Oh, this is where he's like, well, you're one officer. What's really kind of mean? Like, no, you broke the law, bud.
Interactions with us in the past.
Yes,
But
unfortunately.
This is the first time I've ever dealt with you.
And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, like, who are you? Like, Jeremy Dewitte? Never heard of it. And he complains to the officer. The officer's like, yeah, let me go, dude. Like, I don't care. That is his address, but it's publicly listed, so I'm not going to worry about it. Brian. I saw it. I'm not going to repeat it, but I appreciate it. It doesn't quite get the stamp.
Appreciate you guys coming out. Again, I apologize for my demeanor.
Yeah, I bet you do. He apologizes for his demeanor a lot. What he should do is not use that demeanor in the first place, and then he wouldn't have to worry about it. Am I right? I think I'm right about that one. And then we get the music and shkablamo. Yeah, there are some agencies that have the oval shaped badge. I actually have a video that I'm going to be making about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then this is actually him following that ambulance. Apparently, I haven't actually seen the video that someone else took of it, but this is him following the ambulance to the hospital. That's fine, whatever. Just looking at his car. There's weird stuff on his car. But no backup? No back up. To what?
Demeanor.
No worries.
Are you trying to get me to look
I
at the
apologize
cars?
for my demeanor.
Oh, okay. You are trying to get me to look at the cars. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it is. You're right. It is. It is green. It is. It's fine. No, it's fine. Whatever. I'm not mad. Are you mad? I'm not mad. No, okay, it is green. But you get a real nice clean on that. The right lighting. I don't know, man. Okay, but it is green. We'll give them that. And the paint scheme is a different design. It's fine. Yeah. Anyway, is JD a sovereign citizen? I wish he was. That'd be so much fun. I would destroy him. More than I already... Well, I don't want to say I'm destroying him, because I feel like the person who's claiming, like, I'm winning, isn't always winning. I feel like I'm doing pretty well in addressing his claims. But anyway, You like my version? Write a rock version. Yes. You can thank the vaccine for that one, Kathleen. German pilots are dying to get the graveyards. Oh, yeah. Well, Was it Riker? Is it Riker Island? No, what's the island off New York where they put all the dead people, like the unclaimed bodies? I want to say it's Riker. You can't fly a drone there, though. I checked. Bastards. Not in New York. You get in a lot of trouble. New York, like, prohibits drone flying almost entirely. You can't even go there either. Like, they will not let you go. It's nuts. It's a shame. Well, Sinburner, that's actually where I filmed my my ghost hunting video. Is a graveyard in the woods where no one goes anymore. But the problem is it's full of trees and very difficult to navigate by drone. I tried. Didn't work. But yeah, anyway. How are you guys doing? That's the end of the video. And that's my explanation on why Jeremy definitely committed obstruction. But from what we've seen, did not commit domestic violence. Now, that doesn't mean he didn't. It's just from what we've seen, I am not comfortable making that determination, saying like, yeah, he definitely committed it. He is a criminal. Like, I'll call him out for the things that I believe he actually has committed. But I can't call him out for this one, unfortunately. I know. A lot of people are going to be really mad at me for that. Jack. Metro State Boat Patrol. Yes. Am I gonna watch the newest Jeremy video? Oh, you bet. That's gonna be a different stream though. We're gonna chopping these up because time. I have to get sleep and food and whatever. But yes, there are at least 2 more streams. Three. There are a bunch. I have a bunch of backlogs. We're gonna get to those. This just felt like we should get this one out of the way because there's a lot of sort of information about this. Not like, oh, guys, stop. Like, yeah. Where people are speculating. And I appreciate the speculation. I really do. I think that shows some really good initiative. But from a legal standpoint, speculation isn't quite up to snuff when it comes to actually establishing, anything of evidentiary value necessarily. Now, if there was a domestic down the line, yes, we could come back to this and really pick it apart and be like, well, actually, I think that like in this video where we didn't get him, he said some things that we can use for this other case. Whereas we didn't have enough then, we certainly do now, and this is just additional stuff to ensure the conviction. That sort of thing. Unfortunately, you can't, like, we don't, what's that movie? Minority Report? Is that the one I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of a different one. Where, like, they get the criminals before the crime has occurred. That's not Minority Report. What is? No. Is it? I don't know. I know I've never seen it, but I should have. Was he arrested? I think there was an investigation for DV. I don't think it ended up being anything. Oh, no. It was because it wasn't, so there was assault, but it wasn't domestic assault. It was only your standard assault consummated by battery. It was Minority Report. Okay, good. Cuomo Island. But it got dropped because it wasn't actually, it was filed incorrectly. It should have been just assault. They assumed that it was his girlfriend and they had lived together, which was not true. It did not meet the elements technically. However, I think at the end of the day also, the victim, who will remain unnamed, we all know who it is, or many of us do. It's just, this is not the video for it. The victim, and I'm being nice because she is the victim, I think decided not to prosecute. And so there was no point in refiling the charges correctly. But it was an assault, but it was not a domestic assault. So, Shutter Island was, a lot of people were like, wow, Shutter Island. I don't know. I was disappointed by Shutter Island. It's fine. It's fun. I think I just sort of figured it out too quickly. I'm not like, oh, I always figure it out. I'm so smart. It was just like, I don't know. There's something about it. I'm like, oh, he's going to be this at the end. And then it just sort of ruined it for me. I don't know. I didn't really like the end. I was like, I just felt like they could have. I don't know. It's a really fun movie. Really great actors. Very well done. I just didn't like it for some reason. Jesse, thank you. I recently used Metro State Accounting Tax Services and received a $100,000 return. Chance of an auditor 50-50. Motorboat 1. Yes. Oh. Yes. Oh, that's fun. Yes. Hart Island. That sounds right. Is that right? Riker Island's the prison, I believe. Is Hart Island? That sounds correct. Dewitte's bagging all the action. That's right, Brian. Dewitte's your main competition. But don't worry, he'll be gone soon. Maybe, allegedly. Oliver, thank you. Coming to a cinema near you. Alleged impersonation 2. Metro State to the rescue. Anyway, I get to do that with my voice now because it's very dry. Cleavage with Motorboat 1. We could do that. If you guys want that t-shirt, I can make that. I'm going to go ham on that one. It's bacon. Bolt's Castle. Oh. Heck yeah. It's going to make the down payments. Oh. Oh, I've heard rumors, Iowa Hank. I've heard rumors. Have I called you Iowa Hawk? I bet I have. If I have, I apologize. Because I almost called you that. I was like, wait a second. All right, Motorboat 1. Remind me, because that sounds like I'm gonna make that. It's not gonna be your cheesy. It's gonna be like it's gonna be great. I want you to know. You know, a couple people have bought the pillowcase. I don't have the pillowcase anymore. Someone bought it, and then I sent a new one to someone else. I'm kind of disappointed. I missed that pillowcase. But oh, yeah, Hart Island, yes. And you can't get to Hart Island. No, they won't let you go unless you are a direct relative of the deceased. And you have there's 2 days a year they let it happen. It's nuts. They're super strict. However, I think the Department of Corrections on Hart Island, I'm pretty sure the city is working on getting it into the hands of the not Department of Corrections, but the Parks Service, which hopefully will open it up to the public a little bit more because I really want to go. But I was like, hey, can I go there at night? And they went, no. Don't contact us again. Well, they didn't say that, but it was absolutely not. That will never be allowed. Yeah, he deletes his comments, doesn't he? Thank you for your donation, by the way, Andrew. He will delete your comments. There's not really a point in commenting on his videos, unfortunately. Oh, how is everybody? This is a good. I had a lot of fun this stream. We had a lot of good stories, a lot of fun. We had the little joke in the beginning. Guys, if you haven't seen, well, it's gone forever now. I have no idea where it went. Oh, no, there it is. No, if you haven't seen the first 12 minutes of the video, there's some good stuff in there. Oh, it's great. Oh, Achievement Hunter. Yes, that's Achievement Hunter. I used to watch Achievement Hunter, and then I got sick of what's his face being too much of a jerk to the British guy, to Gavin. I like Gavin. I'm Team Gavin. I don't know. They're just. I found other groups that I felt did it. They do it very well. It's just not my atmosphere. But Achievement Hunter is very good. I do enjoy Achievement Hunter significantly. Yeah, Sergeant Fiddler, you come on over. Yeah, I got them waiting in my fridge. That's not the real Sergeant Fiddler, Jeremy. Jeremy thinks that I'm best friends with Sergeant Fiddler. I'm not. Maybe once the case is over, we can become besties. We'll exchange little friendship bracelets and everything. It hasn't happened yet, though. Heart Island and Heart Island, two different hearts. I gotcha. Wait, what did Ryan do? We still talking about Achievement Hunter? I haven't watched them in a year. I don't know any latest video. The Chicago charge were dropped a year ago. He says he was never charged. He was charged. I'm almost certain he was charged. I'm pretty sure I remember a warrant was put out for his arrest. I could be wrong about that. I believe he is correct, though, that they were dropped. And I imagine it has something to do with the guy just didn't want to prosecute him. Or the prosecutor's we don't want to bring him all the way back. I don't know, something. There's a lot. Did you clown? Did I see the clown video JD did? I actually never watched that one. I watched a bunch. I don't watch all of them though. Usually, if someone sees something they think will pique my interest, they'll let me know, and then I'll go check it out. But I generally don't. Yeah, Gavin for the Slow-Mo Guys. I love the Slow-Mo Guys. They're so great. It's really fun. They have a really good channel. And he's such a fun guy, right? And they're all so mean about him or to him. And maybe Matt was like agreed about. It's entirely possible that was a manufactured thing where they like had meetings beforehand, like, "Hey, Gavin, are we gonna keep being mean to you?" He was like, "Yeah, I love it. It's great, except not in that accent because that's wrong. That's not what he sounds like." They had to remove buried ordnance. Oh, DOC to parks. Yeah, okay. I know there was ordnance. Did I know there was ordnance? Maybe I did. He should disable contents. You're right, but Andrew, that would be admitting defeat. And I'm pretty sure he pays people to write nice comments about him. My nose itches. When I do this for too long, my nose just starts itching. Maybe it's something about this. Government checker forever. You're 10-8. Heck yeah. Chad Bergen? I'm going with Bergen. Investigate Glenn Sierra. You know I will. John Coyote, where do you live with all those abandoned cemeteries? I like the outdoors. Hey, I mean, maybe someday we'll answer. Most haunted town in America. I want to go. One of these days, I'm going to start traveling. Like, if this channel like explodes, like we're already doing really well. Like, wow, it's amazing. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. But if I get like stupid money, yeah, I'm going to travel around the country and do ghost hunts. I'm going to meet you guys. It's going to be great. I'll go to places where you guys are at and let you in on it. Thank you for being here, Kathleen. See ya. I think she left a while ago. I'm going through the comments right now. Oh, I went way too far back. As a Brit, I'm telling JD I am. It's not bad, innit? It's chim chimney, chim chim chiroo, I say. Jeremy Dimwit. Maybe Jeremy is really starting diddler. I mean fiddler. Nah, I meant diddler. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. Or chiree, or whichever. Thank you, Lauren. What was what? My terrible, terrible accent? Oi, listen here, bruv. I'll tell you what I'll do. No ghosts in Alaska. Oh, that's fair. The ghosts just blow away. They're like traveling across the ocean. Like, this is a fine how do you do? Crikey, we're Australian for some reason. That's crazy. Very old train station. Oh, train station. That sounds like a fun time. I've been to Gettysburg. I plan on going back. I was going to actually go back last summer. But then COVID happened. I know that comfort doll. That's basically what it ended up being. Is I'm like, oh wait, no, this is Dick Van Dyke. It's Dick Van Dyke. It is. Hey children, let me show you what a chimney sweep is. Chim chimney chim. That's why I started singing chim chimney. Chiroo chim chiroo chiroo. A sweep is as lucky can be. Penn State. I've been to Penn State. It's really cool. I would love to go back and do an investigation. You can pay, like, it's expensive, but you can pay to do an overnight thing there. Have I ever been to the UK? I have. I was in London in 2016. I was in Ireland too. Don't you know I kissed the Blarney Stone? On St. Patrick's Day, no less, and I like to think that I gave some Blarney back to it. Because I'm just full of nonsense. It's our little joke. But yeah, and then I went to London for a couple days. I went to the British Museum, where everything was stolen, and then put up for display. Because the British Museum is known for just containing stuff that the British stole from other places. I love it. Same with the Louvre, though, to be fair. Thanks, Napoleon. Can I talk about the dual enrollment lie on Dr. Phil? Oh, where he was going through the academy, but also like going through night school or whatever. Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, Jeremy never went through the academy. He was still in Venture Scouts. He got his first, I think he was 18, in the Venture Scouts when he got his first felony. They would not have taken him in the academy. He may have been on like the short list for early enrollment, maybe. I don't think he was ever going through the academy though. Amazingly haunting. Oh my god, I want to go ghost hunting in England so bad. You guys have some cool stuff, right? Hey, look, listen, Mr. Pellegrino there. Right, let me get me Irish back in. Toy. Right, we're back. We're back with the Irish accent there. What's up? Thank you, Lisa Scott's best wife, for your generous donation there. That will go towards the potato fund because I'm running a little low. Make all the jokes you want, but you know how it is on Ireland. Super Explorer. Right. Evening Citizen Police Watch Academy. Right, he was in Evening Citizen Police Watch Academy, don't you know? Fun stuff, that. When does it stop being a grave robbery and start being a museum exhibit? When nobody owns the place anymore. When nobody knows who it is, it's now up for grabs. Georgia's got some great stuff. Hertz rental car getting repoed. Now, it might have been you. I don't know. Someone did say Hertz doesn't do that sort of thing. You actually can rent to own a Hertz rental car. It is possible that he was renting to own a Hertz rental car. Except I very much remember when going through the Chicago incident that it was being towed for being parked in the wrong spot, a place that he thought he was allowed to park but wasn't. So I don't think it was being repoed at all. So either he got it wrong then or he was getting it wrong now. I'd like more clarification on that, Jeremy. Please and thank you. But I digress. The most haunted house where even the cameraman who was filming an interview got scratched. No, where's that? We gotta make this a ghost hunting channel. Hanover. That sounds very familiar. I must have seen something about that. That sounds super familiar. Jeremy was sneaking a badge into prison with him. The old prison wallet trick, yes. Yeah, the manager called to have it towed. That's what I thought. Is like the guy who was selling, was he buying an ambulance there? The guy who was selling the ambulance was like, yeah, park there. But the building manager was like, no, don't park there. And the building manager ultimately has more power to make that decision. And it bit Jeremy in the butt, like getting repoed for. It's possible that both things happened at the same time. Like it got towed and then, like I'm pretty sure it got towed initially for being parked wrong. It's entirely possible that they then repossessed it. Like, wait a second, we've been looking for this car. That's entirely possible. Why does he have a rent? Like, surely, it doesn't make sense to me why he'd have a Hertz rental car if he's leasing it if he's renting to own though. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Oh yeah, Ghost Hunter Marathon. I might do the same actually. Oh, my foot's asleep. Oh man, my old pins and needles. Why is he renting a car? He has so many vehicles. First of all, second, why is he driving? I don't know. If I were them, I would have flown to Chicago and then driven back. That would be me. I don't like driving. Driving's fine. But like from Florida to Chicago, that's not a short distance. I don't think. Pretty sure that's a very long distance. I don't know, man. We've never been to the Winchester. I want to go to the Winchester. That'd be a lot of fun. I have been to Eastern State Penitentiary in Pittsburgh. No, Philadelphia. Right? Really fun place. A lot of fun. Loved it. Would go back. Right to him in prison. I'm thinking about it. But yeah, no. I no, we're gonna do some ghost hunting. You guys keep helping me out. You guys have been incredibly generous. It's these donations that are going to make that kind of thing possible. I'm not gonna beg you for money. Some of you are donating that can't afford it. You can stop it. I'm okay. I'll be okay. I will not ask for your money. I will feel uncomfortable taking your money if you can't afford to give it to me. I love the fact that you support this channel and you feel strongly enough about it to donate to it to ensure its success. Thank you so much. No, seriously, thank you. I feel bad. I really do, because I'm like, who am I? I'm just some guy, right, with my desk. But you folks, everyone here have made this possible. Those of you who donated have made this possible, and the lights possible. Actually, some of the lights aren't on for some reason. It's fine. That's because I used that power strip to plug in the spotlight. It's fine. Those of you who like the video, you make it possible by getting my videos more attention. Those of you who comment nice things, you keep me going mentally. Those of you who are just there, like the views, just being here helps, and I really want to say thank you. And I love doing these streams. I know a lot of people are like, you just talk too much. We don't like your streams; they're too long. But I like this. I set this up in this way so I can interact directly with you. Like I gave it sort of a late night show kind of feel, and I love that. I love interacting directly with you. And I do have to put out some more shorter videos. I really do, and I have plans. I have some short ones coming up. I'm going to put the script on my Patreon to actually make that a thing again. But I want to say thank you all for being here. And just because you're not donating does not mean you're not helping. For those of you who are donating, it's definitely going to a good use. And we're going to get some ghost hunting in. It's going to be great. So, have I got a post office box? I have. We have to make sure it will accept packages, though. We're currently testing that. So I can receive letters. And I will be putting out that P.O. box relatively soon once we test all of it. I don't know if I can accept packages, because I know some people want to send me like patches, that sort of thing. I would love that. But yes, the process is officially started. But yes. But Tony, you're here and you're commenting, and that's great. And I don't want your money, Tony. You being here is enough. No, it's great. No, again, just having you guys here, it's phenomenal. Rennie is sending me stuff to test it out. I have a round one. I have some lights up above that aren't turned on, as my problem. That's why I'm looking a little darker today. But yeah, I also have the much nicer camera incoming. Should be here relatively soon. Does 4K, 60 frames per second. It's the Lumix G9. I'm using the Lumix GH2 right now, which is an old camera, but it does 1080p. It doesn't do low light well though, which is a problem. You need a lot of light. You need like daylight for the GH2. I do not have that in this garage, so it's a problem. A cooking segment with blue bacon. Maybe I will. That would be fun. $2.10 for P.O. Box to the post office. Let me receive package. I did a 3-month thing to test it out. But yeah, that's it. You know what? I should do headshots, signed headshots. Hello, Dreamer's hubby. I would go with Jerry Springer in a heartbeat. That'd be amazing. Oh. Hey, I like the outdoors. Thank you. Metro Blue Bacon shirt. I'm working on that actually. We're putting that together. Some Blue Bacon themed stuff. Not because most of my stuff is Metro State related. I'm like, I would kind of be full of myself to make my own shirts about me. But you know what? If the people want it, who am I to say? Thank you, Danny Banani. Oliver, would you donate? I'm so sorry. I'm out here rambling like a crazy person. Like a man off his rocker, which is pretty spot on. I'm sorry I missed it, but thank you for your donation. I'm eyeballing. Nate, thank you. Custom won't allow me to send a Kinder Egg or a donor. Oh, look, I can get relatively similar things. I can get the Kinder without the toy. Or maybe they've changed that and they can do the toy again. But I miss donors so much. Oof. I miss it, man. I miss it. Sign a photo of Brendan Ruff. What? Church brings a judge now. Ooh. Now I'm thinking about donors, man. Thanks a lot. I feel like I saw something. Oh, another musical. That's it. There's another musical coming. Yes. Once the case is over, there will be another musical to wrap the whole thing up. Absolutely. Do I think the funeral directors knew Jeremy was committing crimes? I'm sure they had some complaints. I don't think they knew the extent of it. No, I don't go. You're right. I do kind of get, really involved in the conversation piece. This is a great part. I like the end. A lot of people are like, "Why the ending's so boring?" Like, yeah, but it's designed to be done live. Like, if you're watching after the fact, I'm sorry. I'm glad you're watching it. But like this is supposed to be an interaction. Dr. Phil's GS level. Well, Jeremy, GS level is higher than yours. I'll tell you what, that was a terrible Dr. Phil. See, I haven't been on Dr. Phil in a while, so I can't do his voice anymore. Jeremy, there it is. Oh, what camera do you, wait. F2000 GR8 4K. Ooh. Oh. Well, look at you, fancy. Oh no, I'm pretty sure. Like the directors, do they expect Jeremy to be like that? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I was there, and like when they're like, "All right, Jeremy, if he stops talking, Blue Bacon will step in." There was very little opportunity for that. He just wouldn't stop, and I'm very okay with that. Stop me from looking foolish. So, oh yeah, I heard about the TikTok impersonator. I haven't looked into that, but I heard about it earlier today for the first time. Oh, interview Jennifer. That would be interesting. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that until Jeremy's in jail. If he goes in jail. Because he still has, like, she's still using him. She is using him. I think she has the whole, like, I think she's smarter than we give her credit for. I really do. I don't want to underestimate her. Maybe I'm wrong. I do not like to underestimate people. I think that she is an evil mastermind. Good on her. Blue Bacon approved. Another continuance. I think they're out of continuances. Honestly. All right. FZ2000. Let me look this up. FZ2000. Great 4K footage. Okay, I thought it was. Oh, that's right. That's the one with the crazy zoom on it, isn't it? But it doesn't do the output that I want for streaming. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That ISO range. Oh, I'm looking at it now. It's nice. Oh, 480 millimeter equivalent. And the RX 10 is the other one I've seen. That's 4K, 30p, 24. Yeah, checks out. 120 at 1920. It's great. What is its sensor? How many megapixels are we talking here? Now you got me in cameras. Give me a second, people. I gotta look at these cameras. Oh, Oliver, thank you. 20,000 subs special. Blue meets JD. Salutes him and thanks for his service for dropping in Fallujah. At 20,000, I might put him in jail if he's there. For 20,000, I'll probably fly to Florida. To be completely honest with you. So get those. Tell your friends. Let me. God, yeah, I remember seeing this one, and just megapixel. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to do that because it does that automatically. When I press certain buttons. 21.1. That's actually really good. That's really good. For $1,000 with that built-in lens. See, I like having the option of swapping out lenses. It's just a personal thing. But that is a very nice camera. Keeping it criminal. Wait. Hey, keeping it criminal. What's up? It's good seeing you here. If you sent me an email, I have missed it. I feel bad. There are a lot of things I was like, yeah, we'll collaborate with a few people, and then it was my fault. I dropped out. Of various communications because I had emergency stuff I had to deal with the whole. There are words I'm looking for. The friend of mine who I am helping, or I think they just filed it. Honestly, the restraining order or the no contact order. I've been spending time doing counter surveillance at their place. So, it's a whole thing. I don't really want to get into it to protect their privacy, but that's why I've been so busy. So I've sort of ceased communication with a lot of things, a lot of projects. But anyway, how long do I think the first case will take? I think the first one's probably going to be the longest, and then the rest are going to be like, I think they might, after the first one or two, he's just going to be like, plea deal, plea deal, plea deal. I know there are at least 2 different counties doing it. So I think after the first county, they might try for a plea deal in the second county, depending on the situation. I don't know. I don't think it's going to go well for him, though. I don't know how long it's going to take. There's a lot of evidence, though. There's a significant amount of stuff that the prosecutor could bring. So, oh, no, I expect it to be more than one day, though, for sure. I'm not an expert in court stuff, though. Country twang. That's right. I did miss out on that. You got me. That's what I was missing. Super chat from Oliver. Yes, the salute. I got that one. Yeah, no, that'd be hilarious. 21 megapixels. All right, I think I'm caught up on the chat. Excellent. How difficult is it to get a PI license? It depends on how good you are at taking tests, honestly. Motor one calling Blue Bacon. Blue Bacon over. Let's see. Yeah, no, Flash. If it comes up, I'm going to be upset. Or I think the Stephen Casey Miller, I think that it's not what he thinks it is. It usually isn't. I would love to know more. I sent an email, reached out some feelers. No one will tell me anything. Those jerks. Oh, lag, yeah. How many subs for me to do Metro State collaboration ride along? If you guys paid for me to go out there and ride along Metro State, I would do it. I would do it like tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, because that's not, let's wait until my COVID shot is good to go. Like 2 weeks from now. That would be amazing. We've talked about that like over the entire last year. Like, oh, wouldn't that be fun? Let's try and make that happen. And there was a point where like it probably could have happened early in on this, and but COVID kept me from, and also money. I definitely wouldn't do it on a bike though. I'd be in the patrol car. Motor Zero. King's Palace. I remember King's Palace. I remember him sort of stealing a bunch of content and not adding much to it. People got really mad at him. Absolutely pay for the flight. Look, if they're willing to let me ride along, I'll do it. I think they kind of hate me at this point, though. That ship, I'm pretty sure, has sailed. You know what I'm saying? If Alec Ringdahl was still around, I think he was one of the people who was like, I can get you in that ride along. But he's not around anymore. So when we're going to do with Dewitte goes to Slammer, we're going to be very sad that I have no more content left. Sorry, I was playing with my collarbone. We're going to move on to talking about auditors, sovereign citizens. I got a bunch of other topics. We're going to just go nuts. We're going to talk about whoever we want because we're not tied down to a single person. It's going to be great. Ghost hunts, investigations, true crime stories. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll have to go. I'll get a mustache. Hey, good to have you here, Keeping It Criminal. I'm going to find your email. I'm going to say hi or something because I feel bad that I've been not communicating at all. Yeah, his contractors are a little not too many, huh? Need more rum for that. Drop my email again. Don't mind if I do. Don't mind this flipping flopping. So the reason it's switching, like blah, 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 when I'm typing, is I have these foot pedals, right, which change what the view, but they're tied to certain keys on my keyboard, and so when I type, because I'm stupid and have not remapped them, it'll activate that. Because I'm dumb. I should have thought of that, and I keep forgetting to fix it. Yeah, no, sovereign citizens are absolutely nuts. And a lot of people don't when they talk about sovereign citizens, will talk about the legal aspects of it. They don't talk about the reasons why, like the path it takes to go there and why they're making those arguments. I happen to know that stuff because I've dealt in like the things I do with Jeremy Dewitte, where I go into all of his stuff. I did that with sovereign citizens. I was in sovereign citizen like chat rooms. I was, well, not chat rooms, but like websites where they had chats, like message boards, that sort of thing. I was directly challenging them. I was on their videos commenting. I went deep. I went real deep. So I am in a fairly unique position when it comes to sovereign citizens to discuss them. There are very few people on the internet that have gone as far with sovereign citizens that are not sovereign citizens as me. And that doesn't mean there aren't people that know more about it. Of course there are. But I rarely see anyone that has gone to the depths of what I've looked into, which isn't the legal stuff, because people usually just go to the legal stuff and just tap out like, this is stupid. Of course it's wrong. I want to know why they thought these things and what motivated it. Maybe someday I'll write a book. I probably won't. I'm lazy. I got too much already. Sovereign citizens, man. I mean, there's aspects of sovereign citizenry that I have not even touched that people are experts on. However, as far as like on YouTube goes, different. Hey, thank you, Stephen. You're great. I've seen those masks, Garnet. I would not recommend it because that's a crime. But it would be fun to see. I'm not, hey, don't do it though. But I appreciate the thought of it. The mental image is, yes. Had a 50-50 prison PB&J sandwich. Well, first you get your shank, which you sharpen out of a toothbrush. Yes. Oh, no. Hey, guys, we're going to do sovereign citizens. I already have videos on sovereign citizens, by the way. I have a bunch. I still get hate on them. So the weird thing about Jeremy, when I started this channel, it was very much it wasn't anti-auditor. It was, here's what auditors do wrong. I support the auditor movement. I don't support the community, but I support the idea of it when done properly and lawfully. And it's not that I like it. It's legally, if done properly, it's totally fine. And in some places, it actually is a good thing, and it is helpful. In most places, not. The community has made it into something that it should have never been, and is absolutely detestable. There are auditors I like. There are many, many more auditors I don't like. I've been on audits. I've done my own. I tagged along with Nasty Nathaniel. I don't really enjoy auditing. It's always felt very weird to me, but I understand it. I do. As someone who was police, and still technically holds the title, if not the, conducting the actual actions, people were allowed to film me. There were limits because it was on a military installation, et cetera, et cetera. But I had to be okay with that. And so I expect other government officials to also be okay with it because that's how the law works. It's not that I like it, but legally, that's not really my call to make, which is sort of how I try to approach these things. Sovereign citizens, I think, are a bunch of idiots, and I love to harass them. But when I was making my channel, it was like, here's what sovereign citizens do wrong and are dumb about. Here's what auditors are wrong and are dumb about. I got a lot of hate because no one knew who I was except the auditors and the sovereign citizens. It was nuts. So when I started making Jeremy Dewitte stuff, and people were like, "Oh, you're great. This is great." I was like, "What is this? What it's like to not be hated by everyone? This is great." But if you go back to my sovereign citizen stuff, there are a lot of very intense comments in my auditor videos. There are a lot. I mean, I think a lot of them are gone now because I had to block a lot. If you're an obvious troll, I'm just gonna block you. I will happily engage in reasonable discussion with you. And there are some people I've engaged in reasonable discussion for hundreds of comments back and forth. But at the end of the day, quote Jeremy, if you're a troll, no. Jeremy should make a video saying Sergeant 1,000 times. There are ways he could have profited off of this thing. He is not doing it, I think, in the best way. Yeah, no, auditing is technically legal. If you stand on the sidewalk, you don't interact with anyone, you don't, if I'm filming outside of a courthouse, for example, and let's say, just to be extra safe, I'm on the other side of the street on the sidewalk. I'm not blocking anyone's view. Perfectly legal. Totally fine. If I'm filming into a police officers, like their patrol car compound area, like the fenced off, whatever. If I can see through it, I can film into it. If I'm on the public sidewalk, it's a traditional public forum. Police can absolutely come and question why I'm doing that. That's totally fair. That's fair game. They're absolutely allowed to do that. But if they arrest me for it, different story. Now, if I'm in a state that what am I looking for? Where you're required to identify for reasonable suspicion, then yes, I am required to identify for filming. Police can be like, well, we suspect you of filming in order to plan an attack against a police officer. Like, okay, well, yeah, now you've articulated a reasonable suspicion. Because I have a camera, that's something I could be doing, and I would have to identify. But if I'm doing this in a, say, where I'm not required to identify unless I'm being arrested, I don't have to provide ID for filming. I can just be like, sorry, I'm in a traditional public forum. I'm a member of the press. Have a nice day. To be a member of the press, all I have to be is someone who has an audience and a message to deliver to them per the Supreme Court. Like, there's a whole thing. So, yes, it can be done properly. What auditors fail to understand, there are three general things. You have the freedom of speech, but not the freedom of volume necessarily. That can be unreasonable. Even the freedom of speech is limited. So disorderly conduct is a thing that you need to be aware of. A camera does not allow you to trespass. Anything that is not open to the general public is not open to you just because you have a camera and are a member of the press. That's not how it works. Supreme Court has ruled on that a couple times. Some cases more in depth on the issue than others. This is a definite thing. Your camera does not grant you access to an area, or generally does not grant you access to an area that is off limits to the public. For example, if you wander into a off limits parking lot, which is 51550, I did a video on her. She did that. Camera doesn't grant you access to that. A crime scene, camera does not grant you access to that. Et cetera, et cetera. So then a lot of auditors get hit with obstruction for getting in an officer's way because they get too close and they won't back up, or they get hit with obstruction for crossing crime scene tape or crossing into a crime scene that does not have tape. Tape is not required, by the way. It just negates the need for an actual verbal warning. Makes it easier for the police to do their job, but it's not actually required. Or they actually get hit with a trespass for failing to leave an area they're not allowed to be in. So those are the three things auditors usually get hit with. They're almost never hit with actual recording. It's almost never illegal to record, but they will be hit with trespass, disorderly conduct, or obstruction. Those are usually what they're violating. So like if you're in a post office and you don't leave, it's like, I'm filming, I don't have to leave. Cool. Well, you're not being arrested for filming. You're being arrested for trespassing. You can't film in a post office. They don't want you to. Poster 7 actually says that. A lot of auditors have read that wrong. Now, some of you may be like, but what am I saying? So I was reading a thing about Glick versus Boston. No, it's Glick versus Cuniff. Not Boston versus Glick, I think, is what you're... Unless there's a different one. The Boston one's a different... There are a bunch of cases. It's not the Supreme Court. But the... so it's like superior courts. Or the district courts. No, the circuit courts, the federal circuit. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't know. There are courts that have ruled on that sort of thing. The Supreme Court never has, to my knowledge. Filming a restricted military installation is illegal. There are exceptions to that. That is an entirely different conversation I've had many, 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 many times. I have videos on that. I will happily discuss that with anyone in depth. Audit the audit. Oh, I haven't seen Audit the Audit's videos in years. When I first started... Audit the Audit was not fair and unbiased. Absolutely not. Audit the Audit got a lot of stuff wrong, a significant amount of stuff wrong. They put together great videos, but were very much biased towards First Amendment auditors and ignored a lot of police stuff that was actually very, very important. Now, maybe that's changed. Maybe they've improved since then. It's been, again, a year or two since I've watched any of their videos because I watched a few and went, absolutely not. These people put together a great video and people believe them because they put together a great video, but their information is wrong. At least in the ones I saw. They did reach out to me to collaborate on Discord. I don't have those messages anymore. I kind of felt like they were talking down to me, like, oh, you only have like 500 subscribers. I have, 100,000. So, I kind of know what I'm doing. I was like, bro, but you don't, right? Like, you're getting it wrong. And they were putting together a video about something. And I was like, no, you got that wrong. This is what needs to be said in regards. Like, wow, I never thought about that. I'm not saying they're a bad person, but I think they are talking from a position where maybe at that time they did not know as much as they thought they did. Again, put together a phenomenal video. It was very fun to watch. Very well put together, but their information was lacking. And I hope that they've improved since then. And if they have, fantastic, good for them. They deserve every subscriber they have. But at the time, I was like, no. There was a lot wrong. But again, a few years ago, could have improved since then. I have not checked. At some point, I might audit the audit of the audit just to check. It was a private message, I think, just between us. Hey, thank you, Sean. Say on. Pellegrino. Good cop care less he's being recorded, I would agree. Now, there are circumstances where, like, they're in your face. Like, you have to get back because the person in this car is being aggravated by your camera. You need to back up because you're making my job very difficult. And that's a very fair request. That's absolutely a lawful order. And they're like, no, I don't have to. This person wants to be filmed. The person's like, don't film me, don't film me. They want to be filmed. I've actually seen that. That has happened. Not to me. I've seen a video where basically that was happening. Maybe I've exaggerated a little bit. I definitely have. But, like, there are times where it definitely is not appropriate to be right. I mean, most of the time, if you're right in the action, you need to leave. Actual, like I say actual as if you're not, members of the media, but like commercial news, like CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, MSNBC, BBC, all the people that operate, get the film. They know this. They know not to get too close. They have very nice cameras with very nice zooms. And then they get very nice microphones. So if you're like, they're not letting me get close enough, get that Lumix, the FC2000. It's got a good zoom on it. Get a good shotgun mic with a parabolic dish, right? If that's really important to you, as opposed to just getting really good content. It's not going to be good content for YouTube, but it's going to get the job done that you're claiming to be doing. Now, as far as your right to film police, yes, Glickford's kind of is a great one. There are tons of cases out there, basically where if you are recording police doing their duty, that's fair game, right? They can't get you for wiretapping. In Seattle, that's actual thing. You can film anyone in public. You cannot record private conversations through audio. But conversations with police are not considered private. So it's a weird thing. It's a whole thing that some police have gotten wrong, either unintentionally or intentionally. And there have been a lot of case rulings on that, which is one of the reasons why when auditors go into a police station, they'll file paperwork. They've learned that while you're engaging police in their official duties, you can film them. If you just go into the police station and start filming, no. Because now you're loitering. You're in there without a legitimate purpose that the building was designed for. The building was not designated for First Amendment activity, and therefore your First Amendment activity can be basically stopped. If you can't go in there and if they can kick you out for going in there with signs and protesting, if they can kick you out for an assembly, they can kick you out for filming. It's a First Amendment activity. However, if you're in that building, because it's a non-public forum, there's a whole different thing. If you're in that building for its intended purpose, for example, filing paperwork, then you can pull out of the camera, and there's really not that much they can do about it unless you're engaging in other unacceptable activities, which is why auditors will file so much paperwork while filming in a police station, because they've learned that you have to do those two things to be able to do that one thing. It's a whole thing. The auditor thing, there's a lot of really interesting stuff like that. But anyway, my image might be blurry. I don't know. My lighting is really weird today. Tread, thank you. What's up with the romantic? I know, because I forgot to plug in my lighting up there. I don't know. It's kind of nice. A little romantic dinner. How's it going? Hey. Sorry. I don't look. I'm about to end the stream anyway. I think it's because of the lighting in the back, because there was daylight coming through, and it's not anymore. Weird. I thought you said paracosmonaut. I thought you said, is it true or false that Motor One is financially backed by a false god? Like, yes. That was weird. By Gold Bullion, I wish. No, running to sleep. I gotta go. Hey, thank you so much. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your comment. Hey, you guys have been fantastic. I had a really good time during the stream. You guys are amazing. As always. The Unision case. I gotta look back into that, because that guy's, is that the weird guy with the book and the Can I speak to an auditor using a directional microphone? That's a good question. I don't know. I gotta go. Rennie's got to sleep. She got the shot, and she is probably not feeling well. Hey, but you guys have been incredible. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, doing your thing. I know, Rennie. I know. I'm sorry. All right. So, anyway, until the next time, folks, be good, stay safe.